Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Knees Up, Mother Brown's Eyes Up, Mother Brown. It's United versus United, West Ham United versus Newcastle United. We'll be with you in just a moment. We're just setting up as we speak. Welcome to Knees Up, Mother Brown's Eyes. There you go. Talking to myself again. Let's mute that. Excellent. Good. And yeah, as I say, we'll be with you in just a moment. I'll put the audio on for just a second, and then we'll be with you in a mo.
Going through the final checks. For the Premier League here, St James's Park, which is their first major cup final since 1999. It's quite called the league focus here. The attempts to move above Manchester United and back into the top three. The real win to do. The only issue already, you can show with.
Well, as you can hear, we're less than a minute in, and Newcastle think they've scored, but I think the ball's out of play. This looks like another one of those World Cup jobbies. There we go. There you go. They're just talking about on telly. Germany in the World Cup had one, didn't they? Was it Japan against Japan? And sure, the ball's gone out, and it's not going to be given. But anyway, there's an exciting start for us. We haven't even got going yet, and the ball has indeed gone out, and it's been ruled out. Joe Willock, but it's scored. Anyway, breathless, been running around like a blue-ass fly, and there we are. There's my main man on the screen with me, Rio. Sorry about that, buddy. How are you?
That's all right, mate. Just to update you, because I'm live with Sky.
Yeah.
We've actually just gone to go down.
Right,
not just
okay.
the first disallowed goal, which we can cover a bit in a moment. But Callum Wilson, as per usual, was just put Newcastle 1-0 up.
So for those of you like me joining the stream late, Newcastle have had the ball in the back of West Ham's net twice inside the opening 2 minutes, as Rio was just kindly informed us. Not the start we was hoping for, Rio, really?
No, and Newcastle just been on an attack again, and they are actually dominating us. It's 4 minutes of official play gone, and we're just making our first attack. Mikel Antonio down left-hand side, cuts in the edge of the box, but as per usual, loses control. Yeah, Newcastle have been absolutely battering us in these opening 4 minutes. The opening goal, which got disallowed, we were just caught asleep from a throw-in. I think Almiron pulled it back. Newcastle fired home. Thankfully, the ball was out of play, went to VAR, got ruled out. But then a minute later, ball through the middle. I think Paqueta lost a challenge in midfield. Newcastle fed the ball through in between the two centre-backs, Kera and Ogbonna, and Callum Wilson raced away, fired home. And a game which, just before kickoff, I was actually looking at the team lineups, and I thought, man for man, we're actually a better side. I mean, you might argue about some of our defenders.
Yeah.
I thought, man for man, we're a better side.
Yeah.
It's not looking that way, and we're all at sea at the moment.
We certainly are, mate, and I'm also all at sea because I'm some way behind you. What have you got on your clock there, Rio?
5 minutes 20.
All right, well, I'll leave it all to you then, because I'm more than a minute behind you at the moment. I'm going to see if I can perhaps find another stream that's a little bit more up to date. But there you go. A shocking start for the Hammers. Not the first time. Yet again, Rio undone from a throw-in. How many times? How many times?
I think it's at least once or twice a game now, isn't it? And it's getting boring, to be honest.
Absolutely crazy.
We just went to sleep. It's the opening minute of a Premier League game.
Yeah.
You know, switch on, be alert. Don't forget what you've been told in. Obviously, in the build-up, the analysts, the coaches must be looking at this week in, week out.
Yeah.
Like we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely aghast, and we're just not all. We're just not there. Just not there at all.
No, pretty disappointing, really, considering I think everyone was a little bit optimistic going into today, having won 3 out of the last 4 games. All right, it's against weaker opposition. You could say in all 3 games, but of course, as we always say, you can only beat what's in front of you. But it's just back to the same old, really, isn't it? For the Hammers, but there you go. Long way to go. Yeah, that's the good news, I suppose. If you're going to concede, it's good to do it in the second minute rather than the 89th, and gives you plenty of time to make changes. But not a great start for West Ham, anyway.
Yeah, we look very tentative. I mean, just the ball was just fed back in our half, and Nigel played a simple back pass to Lucas Fabianski, but neither looked fully confident now. And okay, conceding an early goal was going to set you back, but it's time for big, strong players to take grasp of the situation, calm us down, and get us reset. And everyone just looks incredibly edgy out there, and it's it doesn't bode well. It doesn't bode well at all.
No, not at all, not at all. But anyway, looks like West Ham have just managed to slightly get a foothold back in the game. We've managed to get or see a little bit of the ball for the first time. But it's I mean, it's what do you put this down to, Ria? I mean, that sort of start. I mean, are the players not up for it? I mean, what sort of, is it just a case that Newcastle are more up for it than we are?
It's a very weird one to try and put a finger on. You would have thought confidence in our group would have been a little bit higher. Now we've come off, as you say, we're not beat the greatest of opposition, but we've still strung some results together. We're doing all right. But Newcastle just come out of the blocks absolutely firing, and we didn't know how to deal with it or respond.
No.
And I know it's only 30 seconds, whatever, so 39 seconds, I think they got the initial disallowed goal. But it's completely put the game plan on the back foot. And it's just, we're actually in attack at the moment. The edge of the box easily dispossessed, and Newcastle firing on ball forwards. Kerr's trying to force Wilson out wide, but no, Kerr's looks tentative. Sufal gets back, puts a foot in. Ogbonna's going to tidy things up. We just look like we've never met each other at the back.
Yeah.
Paqueta's been muscled out twice now in key areas, and for a player of his caliber and his reputation as well, because we were told, obviously, we mentioned this before on the pod, that we was told when we signed him, he wasn't just a magician with the ball at his feet. He actually puts a shift in. He's not one to be bullied off the ball, but we've seen that twice already. Maybe Newcastle flying high in the Premier League. They've reached their first cup final in 20-odd years. Maybe they're just like they feel more at ease. They feel like they can attack at will here. Yeah.
Just saw Mickey Antonio get down the left channel a few moments ago, pull the ball across, but no one there. And the move comes to nothing, really. But I'm trying to think, Rio, if I can't remember a game where I've ever seen that happen before. 2 goals inside the opening, well, apart from sort of amateur football, of course, but at this level, 2 goals inside the opening 3 minutes. Can you think of any examples?
No, not 2 goals that quickly. Particularly at the start of the game, maybe a few minutes in, you see a couple of quick-fire goals, but certainly not from the off like this. I know the first one got disallowed, but the warning signs were there. A minute later, don't learn the lesson and get peeled apart again.
I think in some ways it's even worse to concede the second. I mean, the first, you're very lucky to get away with, but to not learn your lesson from that, and as you say, after just 39 seconds, to not suddenly think, we've got to pick ourselves up here, otherwise this could happen again, and for it to happen so quickly and in such a fashion, the ball just plays straight through the centre and no one picking it up. Absolutely dreadful. And it's, it's on things like that relegation's hinge, isn't it? At the end of the day, you just can't afford to do it. And of course, we know that Newcastle are very frugal in terms of the opportunities they afford opposition. What is it? Something like 4 clean sheets in the last 5 or something.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to score against this defence. And well, if West Ham are going to get anything out of this game, they're going to have to certainly go and earn it now. That's for sure. But anyway, I suppose we should say welcome to all our guests. We've not had an opportunity to do that yet with what's been happening on the field so far. So I'm just going to run through and say some hellos to Craven, Andy, Dan, AGXM, Hobo, DCB, Steve Palmer, Metal in both legs, and Mark Pierce. Who else have we got? Nick on the stream as well. Ballon d'Orson scored today, didn't he? On his debut for Wolves, and then got booked shortly after. Did you see the highlights of that one, Rio?
I've not seen it yet. I've just watched the results come through on Soccer Saturday, but I've been trying to avoid the rugby, and I was laughing heavily at some of the results coming in. Then I realised suddenly it drops us in the mire.
It does.
So,
totally.
All that kind of like humour that I found quickly dissipated.
Yeah, it was.
Antonio comes in the edge of the box, fires away, blocked. Rice tidies up. Oh, come on, West Ham. We need this goal. We need this goal early.
I just seen a message from the Pink Palermo to say that if we lose by 5, we go into the bottom 3 tonight. So love that natural West Ham optimism from someone who's certainly seen it all over the years. Noam, of course, is at the game today. We're hoping to get him on the stream at some point, maybe at half time, definitely at the final whistle. He's made the journey up to the northeast this afternoon, but hopefully we'll have something to cheer between now and then. Anyway, I think we're about to be joined by a third member of the team anyway, but we shall see in just a moment. Results elsewhere. I watched a couple of games today. I watched the Everton and Arsenal game, which would in any other circumstances be an absolutely joyous result. Because let's be honest, no one really wants to see Arsenal win the league, do they? And they were completely outmuscled and completely outplayed. Everton just looked like a completely different team under a new manager, or at least not under Frank Lampard, should we say? And it was a fully deserved win for the Toffees. And then, of course, I watched the Wolves game against Liverpool, and they absolutely took Liverpool. Now, no, Liverpool aren't in the best of shape at the moment, but Wolves just absolutely smashed them off the park. Could have been 4 or 5 quite easy. And the other thing is, of course, Everton's next game is against Liverpool. So the way things are going, you wouldn't put it beyond, the blue side of Stanley Park to win that particular game anyway. But anyway, what's happening, Rio? Have I missed anything in the last couple of minutes?
No, we've actually off a little bit going forwards, but nothing of any real substance. As I speak, we just got a throw in, I believe. Oh no, we have got a throw in. It's a positive at the moment.
It's a start. You've got to start somewhere. But Callum Wilson, now of course, Callum Wilson and Michael Antonio both do the Footballers Football podcast. Had a little bet at the start of the season to say who would be winning the goals battle this year between the two. Just watching it again, I think Michael might as well concede that one already, don't you, Rio? I don't know how many Wilson's got, but I don't see Antonio catching him the way things are. No,
not at all. And we all know that Callum Wilson scores against West Ham every single time he plays. So he could easily whack up another 3 or 4 here and bring Pinky's little prediction to fruition. I've seen us in the bottom 3.
Yeah, it's not good. Yet again, not good. But just going to have a quick look at the live Premier League table. As things stand, West Ham, of course, 17th in the table, level on points with Everton now, who are in the bottom 3, despite winning today. Rio?
No, we just had a move down the right-hand side. Van Mesofel, who's got forward a couple of times, put in a rather... it wasn't the greatest cross, but it caused problems. Ball bounced back out, but again, shots denied. We had a half a penalty share about a minute ago when
Yeah.
Emerson surged into the box. The ball kind of flicked up, hit a Newcastle player's hand. I mean, if it had been given, I'd have obviously been delighted, but if it had been given against us, I would have been fuming. I've actually turned the screen off and walked away.
I've just seen it happen on my screen, and it didn't seem to be an awful lot in it anyway. So not surprised not to see it given, but we need a little bit of luck like that. Just something like that to go in our favour would be helpful, but not happening. Not happening at the moment. What is happening at the moment? Sorry, Rio, go on.
No, I'm just waving
sorry,
hello to my colleague. I haven't seen it for a while.
He's very little at the moment. I'm going to try and make him a little bit larger. There he is. I'm going to stick you in the middle, Nick. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right.
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make some room for you in our new style setup here.
It's rather snazzy. I quite like
bright.
it.
It's bright, isn't it? It's very bright.
It's glorious.
It is. Unlike the football. Have you been watching the game so far? Have you seen?
I've got the game on the telly, mate. I want to shoot myself in the face.
Jesus Christ. Unbelievable, isn't it?
You're West Ham, you'd miss.
Now, I'm seeing a Newcastle player on the deck receiving some treatment. I was going to say he's having a facial there, but that probably wouldn't have been appropriate.
It does look like it is.
What can you tell us about that, chaps? I didn't see what happened there.
I can't tell you nothing after my operations to be. Oh, you mean what's on the telly? Oh, we meant facial.
It's still flat out on my screen. Nick, where are you on the stream? I'm 16 minutes in exactly now.
I'm 16 minutes 28. I've actually got it on the telly box.
Okay. Rio, where are you now?
71, 22. Yeah.
17 was that? Sorry, you cut out there.
Yeah, 7.5. Yeah.
17.5. All right. So it's
Can I introduce you to someone that occasionally messages on the chat?
You certainly can.
Hi.
There we go. How you doing?
That's the Fliss.
Hello, Fliss. That's the Welsh arm of the supporters club there, I do believe.
Yep.
Not a good time to becoming a West Ham fan really right now. It's not much to cheer about.
Well, to be fair, actually, she is Cardiff City, but we'll let her have that. I'm trying to convert her.
Good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. Right, the game's on again anyway, as I'm sure you're all aware. Let's have a quick look at some of the comments that are coming in. I can't imagine they're particularly good. What have we got? Russ Vernon, we've been joined by Russ. Russ is sorry to say this, but I hope Newcastle win. With myself being a Leeds fan, love your channel. Good to have you along, Russ. Always welcome supporters of other clubs. And your views. It makes it less of an echo chamber in here. Stick around. Let us know what you think. I actually live amongst many Leeds fans in my part of the world, over here in sunny Lincolnshire. Lots and lots of Leeds fans. So I get filled in quite often on what's happening down at Ellen Road. A couple of season ticket holders as well. So welcome along, Russ. Stick around. Rio, what's occurring? Anything happening on there?
Another Newcastle ball forward.
Hey.
Rather dodgily dealt with by Bonner, who forces the ball out. It goes out for a throw in. Yeah, but Newcastle still on top. Pinned in our half, and I wish I could bring you some joy. Newcastle shirt sponsors. We do not apply to West Ham at the moment. I'll tell you that. Fun 88. It weren't fun in 88. It's not fun today either.
Halcyon days of the 8-1 win.
There was the second summer of love, of course, 1988. I'm sure you'll all remember that, right?
Oh no,
I remember it. I was doing my GCSEs.
There
weren't much love in the room there, I'll tell you.
Be higher.
Them were the days. Are you right there, Nick? You trying to get
I'm
comfortable?
trying to get comfortable, and yet it's just not good.
You're up and down. I'm keep having to adjust the screen because you keep moving your position. Sit still, for Christ's sake, man. That's good. We've got you now. Look, that's good. We're all about the same size now. So stay there. Don't move. We're all good.
Okay, I'll do my best. If I go, where do I need that? Wait.
There you go.
There we go.
There you are. Happy
Hold
days.
that bit right in the centre.
Happy days. Happy days. 20 minutes gone. Newcastle United 1, West Ham United 0. The only goal of the game. Well, I say the only goal of the game. Newcastle had the ball in the back of the net twice inside the opening 2 minutes. First time it was
And
disallowed.
the way
Second
it's
time,
going,
Callum
it looks
Wilson
like
scored.
it's just about to be free. Oh, no, it's not. We just look like a bunch of headless chickens.
Got us on the screen, or you mean West Ham on the pitch?
Or both.
Did I tell you about my chickens? By the way, we've got some new chickens in at KUMB Towers. 3 new arrivals last week, so we're expecting an egg bonanza when they start laying again.
That was the biggest transfer deadline day we've had all this, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually. We probably spent more money than David Sullivan last week. Actually, on that point, if anyone's got any West Ham inspired names for our 3 new chickens, please let me know, because they don't have names as it is. So if anyone's got any suggestions, please fire away.
One of them's got to be Matthew Upson.
Matthew Upson, Matthew Cluxon, maybe that might work.
Well, I was just working on the basis the amount of challenges that he used to chicken out.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Matty.
Eggy Magnuson.
Eggy, of course. Yeah, Magnuson. Yeah, Eggy Magnuson. Let us know. You got any West Ham inspired chicken names for the KUMB Towers chickens?
Could have had Henning Berg.
Oh, very good. Very good. Very good. We must have had a Norwegian or 2 that we can perhaps chuck in there. Anyway, we are halfway through the first half, chaps. West Ham still behind. Have we had a shot yet, guys? Don't think we have we?
We've had a couple of shots, but nothing on target. Everything's been blocked.
Good Lord. There was, I think it was Suts, 07 on the KUMB forum this week, who was thinking about putting a little bet on West Ham. 14, I think it was 14 to 1. And I think it was for Newcastle to have more than 9 shots and West Ham to have fewer than 6.5. Quite how you can have 6.5 shots, I don't know in a game, but I told him that it would be an absolutely terrible bet, because West Ham have had more than 6 shots in every single Premier League game so far this season. He might be cursing me right now, going by what's happening here, but I'll just have a look at the stats.
You ready for another chicken pun? I just thought of one.
Off you go. Off you go.
Right, we've got a young keeper on the bench today. We've actually got 2 young keepers, but one of them is Heggie.
Heggie.
So he might be an appearance.
Hungarian, isn't he? I think young Hungarian keeper.
Yeah,
that would be good. That's a good one. Match stats. Anyway, I was just saying, have West Ham had any shots so far? Apparently we have, according to the BBC. Possession 57-43 in Newcastle's favour in the first 23 minutes. They've had 1 shot so far, Newcastle. Ended up in the back. Well, one that counted, of course. One was disallowed. 1 shot, 1 on target, 1 goal. West Ham, 2 shots, none on target. And, of course, no goal. So, Suts, looks like my little bit of advice could be safe there, if that's anything to go by. But we could do a couple of shots and a couple of goals, West Ham. Come on, Irons. We need a goal after what's happened. What happened to Southampton in the end, chaps? Did they were beaten, were they? I haven't seen the other results.
Yeah, they lost 1-0. Minamino, whatever his name is, scored again.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, that was a different game. Sorry. No, they lost 3-0. Sorry, Southampton lost.
Beaten 3-0, right? Yes, I'm just seeing it now. Brentford 3-0. So that was a good result for us today. Chelsea, Fulham, doesn't matter, 0-0, Borefest. Brighton beat Bournemouth, of course, another decent result for West Ham.
Oh, no! Oh,
Nick?
Oh, no, just went past the left-hand post, but it looked like they was about to score again. Would have been a bit fluky, but nonetheless, no, it is sailed past the left-hand post there.
Good stuff.
Manuel Lanzini.
That's a bit of a stretch. I like those. Oh, yeah, it was close, wasn't it? Was close.
I actually thought that was in, hence why my sphincter twitched.
Which I take it you mean now we were discussing this, weren't we, not so long ago, and I never knew this till going completely off on a tangent here. Sphincters, I presumed we only had one, but apparently you have 2 sphincters. And
Really?
the second one is apparently in your stomach. It's the one that controls the acid reflux. That those of us, we were talking about this the other day, right? We were talking about when you've eaten a bit too much, and it seems to be a thing that happens when you get a little bit older. You have something called a stomach sphincter. That's its real medical name. That
I thought
prevents the
it was
acid from coming back up the tube.
the amount of people you meet that talk.
I thought Sphincter was a club you get in the Europa League, eh? One of groups.
I thought it was a lion that was in the desert in Egypt.
But yeah, there you go. Medical advice and everything on KUMB TV. Chickens, sphincters. What else can we do, chaps? Anything but talk about football, I suppose, would be a bonus.
What was it? What happened in the Six Nations today? Did the Welsh win against Ireland?
Ireland won. I'm avoiding England
No.
because I want to watch it once this game's finished, which was about 25 minutes ago.
So what you're saying, Rio, is this could actually turn into like the old episode of The Likely Lads, where you're going to be ducking out every time someone talks about mentioning the rugby. No one on the live stream. No one on the live stream mentioned. I'm going to go and have a look and see what the score is now. I didn't even realise it was on. But anyway, elsewhere, Man United beat Palace 2-1 today. Do we think Palace could get dragged into this relegation battle, chaps, or are they already too far above us?
I think they're safe, and they're playing some good football. Again, they're another side where the sum of the parts work better than the so-called assembled superstars that we got. As much as I hate Palace and I hate Patrick Vieira, he's doing a pretty good job down there with pretty limited budget, to be honest.
Yeah. Polaroid needs the credit for this. Naif Eggerd.
Well, so I suppose that's just Nathan, wouldn't it?
David O'Rourke. Obo Changa, Julian Chicks.
What was that one? I missed that one, sorry.
Obo Changa, Julian Chicks.
Julian Chicks. Keep them coming, folks. Keep them coming. I like that knife, egg.
Benrahma. Oh, God's sake.
Rio.
Yeah, just filtered a move into the Newcastle half down the right hand side. Ball eventually filters out to the left hand side of the Newcastle box, where Saeed Benrahma, during the summer, or the late autumn, the Rugby League World Cup was played up in St James's Park.
Yeah,
and Saeed Benrahma has just auditioned for the Algerian version of the Rugby League World Cup squad. And he put a 2-point conversion virtually near into the West Ham travelling support that's upper tier. That's how bad it was.
And for anyone who's been to St James's Park before, that's some considerable distance away, up in the night sky of the northeast there. Nick, you had something else for us there. You were just coming into when I rudely interrupted you.
And Angelo Egbonna.
Love it, Angelo Egbonna. We've also got Craven Moorhead's coming with Ludo McCluck. And Robert Young with John Joe Shell V. Like it, chaps. Keep them coming. Oh yeah, I've just seen the Benrahma chance. That's well, it just sums West Ham up, doesn't it? Really. 3 shots anyway. We're halfway to almost halfway to the 6.5.
Speaking of shells, right? I went to a fancy dress party once with a woman on my back, and I said, "What have you come as?" I said, "I've come as a tortoise." And I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "That's Michelle."
Is this? Are these the depths we've sunk to now? Is it?
Yep.
Well, I mean, we are all fathers, so dad jokes. Why not? Let's keep them coming. Chicken puns and dad jokes. Order of the day today. Anything to avoid talking about West Ham and the way we're playing right now. Though we are picking up a bit on the field. To be fair, it's been a better last few minutes, but. Anyway, still Newcastle 1, West Ham United 0 as we approach the half-hour mark. Anyone else? Chicken puns, keep them coming. Oh, hang on. How did I miss that? We've got one from Robert Young up there. We've got a couple actually. Robert Young's coming with Glen Rhode Islander. That's a bit of a stretch. And Hobo with Tim Beaker. Steve, I like this one. Steve Palmer, Alan Chickens. Good one. Keep them coming. Keep those chicken puns coming. Newcastle 1, West Ham United 0.
Well.
Pardon?
We have tennis players.
Yeah, why? Yeah, of course. Anyway, why not? Why not?
Tim
Who have
Henry.
you got? Tin Hen Man. Yeah, of course.
Ivan Hendel.
Ivan Hendel.
Oh yeah, we just had a shot.
Go on, Rio.
And
Dimitri
again, we've
Payet.
been in the ascendancy for the last 2 minutes. It's a miracle. But yeah, ball filtered out after a bit of a scramble in the box. Scramble. There you go. Jared Bowen,
Hey.
ball bounces off him outside the area to Lucas Paqueta, who has a shot, and it ends up a tad wide, about like half a foot wide. But it comes from Newcastle player, and we've got a corner. Which I believe is the first corner of the day.
Oh, we're on a break. Declan Rice
Here we
is
go.
in the middle here. Now he's gone over to the left, and he's passed it over to Ben Ramo, who's played it back to Emerson, and he's cutting to the middle, and it's a shot, and it's been blocked in the penalty area. Oh, this is interesting. And just wide of the left-hand post there from Paqueta. That is
Yes!
Yeah.
Come on!
We
Rio.
Lucas Paqueta.
Have we scored?
I was just about to slate us off because from the resulting corner, of all the people that take it, it's Declan bloody Rice. What is he doing taking corners?
I thought I was ahead of you lot.
No, mate, you're way behind. Shut up.
I wonder why you was repeating what Rio's already just told us 30 seconds ago. It's the same thing. 1-1. We're back in the game, people. Calls for celebration. We can talk about football again now.
Right.
I'm still waiting for the corner to be taken, but Rio, take us through it. What's the decent finish for you? Good goal.
It's a good finish. The corner was pretty poor, to be honest. There's no one really attacking it. Naif Aguirre goes up, misses completely. Everyone misses, and it falls to look at Luis Paqueta, who's
Hang on, I think
at the far post, and he just turns around and slots home. How are we in this game? 1-1. Game 1, we're going to win. We're going to win 5-1.
Well, I mean, to be fair, as you were saying a few moments. Yep.
We'll give you. I know. No, some like 2 out of the 3 of us ain't been the greatest of health. All 3 of us will be dropping because if he'd have landed that celebration wrong, broken bones everywhere.
It looked like that was going to go a bit pear-shaped, didn't it?
It did, yeah. You're just thinking, we just spent 54 million quid. He's going to miss that somersault and land on his neck.
I can't believe we're level after what we've seen so far. I cannot believe we're level. But I mean, that's some great celebration. I mean, Mickey Antonio must be looking at that thinking, why didn't I think of that one? Can you imagine Mickey Antonio trying to do that? That's a great. I mean, who's picking? Is Trippier picking up? I'm trying to. So he's just pulled away from Trippier's got him on the post, and he's just pulled away from him. Trippier's not even looking at the ball. That's astonishing defending. Trippier doesn't actually look at the ball until it's at the feet of Paqueta, and then he decides, hang on, maybe I better make a challenge here. By the time he does so, the ball's in the back of the net, and it's Newcastle United 1, West Ham United 1. The Hammers back on level terms after a shocking start, Nick. Good stuff.
It was really quite shocking. Matthew Featherington.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Matty Featherington. I like that.
There was a bit of a poacher's goal at the back there by Paqueta.
Oh.
Yay! Look, I think
He's on fire.
It might have gone over people's heads, so I'm going to repeat this, right? Dimitri Chicken Payet.
You cut out then. I didn't hear it again. Sorry.
Dimitri Chicken Payet.
Chicken pie. I've got you now. These are good. I like these. This is good quality. Keep them coming. Chicken puns are plenty. The better the puns get, I've got to say, chaps, there's a correlation here between West Ham United's performance and the quality of the chicken puns. The better the puns appear to be getting, or the more frequent, the better West Ham are playing. So let's keep it up. Let's keep the chicken puns going to keep West Ham going. It's clearly having an effect 350 miles away. Up the A1. But anyway, we are 34 minutes gone. West Ham on level 10. I need a drink. I'm desperate, guys. I'm going to have to leave you to it for a second because I've got to go and get a drink before my throat goes. I'm parched. So, Nick, Rio, it's over to you, gentlemen, to hold the reins.
Well, this is going
to I'm absolutely perched.
So, what are we going to do? More chicken puns or dad jokes?
Depends. We've got on the attack at the moment. If this move breaks down, we can do anything we want, mate.
I don't know how far already. I'm on 34.15.
I'm 35 exactly.
Oh, so you're 45 seconds in. Good Lord. Must be something about Wales where everything's behind and backwards. It totally
And no
is.
one's mentioned Declan egg fried rice yet, which is a bit shocking. Even.
Excellent stuff. Noodle Solano.
That's pushing it, that one. I'm not having that one.
Well, if we're going Chinese dishes,
And
Well, I missed
Newcastle on the attack again at the moment on our right hand, our left hand side, their right. Just playing the ball around in the middle. While I desperately try and think of some kind of egg related thing to say, which I can't.
why can't we?
See, not easy, is it?
I've exhausted everything. I'm
Where
actually-
are we?
My brain's boiled.
What we got?
30.
I'm trying to see. The thing is, I'm just trying to think of more puns and dad jokes. I've got an encyclopedia with dad jokes, but they're not always appropriate because they're more like stepdad jokes.
I've got to
We're on
say,
the
chaps,
attack. Ben Rama down left hand side. He cuts in. He shoots. Drags it wide. Saeed, just look up once in a while, mate, please.
Saeed Henrama, as someone mentioned a little earlier. Up there on the
He
street.
quite frequently clucks it up.
He certainly does. Robert Young is on fire. Rob, I've got to say, you are on fire tonight, mate. Coming in with Paolo Di Canio.
Hey,
Are they male or female?
who? Oh,
This
is
is
it?
great. Best stream ever.
They've got to be male anyway. If we're coming out with chicken gags, then it's got to be male because it's after footballers.
It's got a Celeste Ham.
Oh, Celeste Ham.
How about Chikorito?
Chikorito. I was just going to say, there's a bit of banter in the middle there with Nick and the Welsh division of the West Ham United Supporters Club. But we are hanging on in there anyway. 37 minutes, just coming up to 37 minutes gone. It's Newcastle United 1, scoring after just 2 minutes. West Ham United 1. Lucas Paqueta scoring and then doing a spectacular triple Salco, I think it looked like. As by way of celebration in the 31st minute, 1-1 West Ham come back into the game. We thought all was lost after 2 minutes. One of those seasons, one of those games, one of those seasons. I've just seen Said Ben Rahman dragging shot wide. God knows how far I'm behind you guys. Rio.
Newcastle on the attack, and they come down the right hand side. It's an awful cross in by Longstaff, I think it is. But it was awful in the terms that it wasn't going anywhere near one of the Newcastle players in the centre. It was heading towards goal, and Lucas Fabianski, slightly off his line, had me absolutely terrified. The ball went towards the goal. I'm thinking, please no, and thankfully it didn't happen. Anyway, back on the West Ham territory, and Vladimir Souffle has got the ball on the right hand side.
Chicken souffle.
Vladimir Souffle, as David O'Rourke says.
They took the price of one there. Souffle.
It's all happening. Well, anyway, 7 minutes to go to half time. 1-1. Big game for West Ham. Need something really from this game. They certainly need something if we're to stay at the bottom three.
Yeah, that's really
points. Yeah, I've just seen that. That was a bit dangerous, Rio.
It's enough to scare me, just put it that way. That takes a lot normally. There's something that's a bit the whole conversation is scary for me.
We need more chickens.
I've got a massive phobia about birds of the feather variety. And it's doing my nerves no good. This and West Ham at the same time is absolutely, it's a nightmare.
Oh, and Tony over the corner. Oh, was he done hamstring with any luck? Is Danny Ings on? I haven't seen the teams actually.
On the bench.
On the bench.
Look behind you, Nick. Look on the telly behind you. The teams are up there, mate.
I can't see bugger all. I've got me.
Oh, is it a bit small?
They're at home.
It does. Well, we should go through it, shouldn't we? I guess. If you just stay right where you are, so I can just about see the substitutes. But we've got Eggy, as we said, on the bench. Joseph Henang, Ben Johnson. Can't think of one for that. Aaron Cress, and Egan Cresswell.
Cresswell, yes.
Pablo Fornals, Manuel Lanzini, Flynn Downs, Danny Ings, and Thomas Souffle, the Czech, on the bench. That's our 9 substitutes. Danny Ings, yeah, of course. So Danny Ings is there, which is good news, of course, because we are missing a couple. Kurt Zuma's still out. Maxwell Cornet's still out. And who's the other one that's still out that I've just completely gone from my mind?
Scamacca.
Thank you, Nick. Gianluca Scamacca. No return date for either of those 3, according to Mr. Moyes during his Friday press conference. But Danny Ings, yes, he's back after being injured. I think David Moyes said he became injured less than 2 minutes after coming on as a sub against Everton, which must be some kind of record in terms of sustaining an injury on your debut. I know, of course, we had famously Mauricio Taricco moved from Spurs and done himself against Millwall, didn't he? Was it 34 minutes? 27, I think it was.
27, yeah.
27, never played again. To his credit, ripped up his contract. West Ham said, I'm going to be out for months. So I'm going to tear up my contract, never play for us again. Who was the guy who played against Jokerit? Rob Jones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Jokerit?
I think he lasted 30, didn't he? Or 31?
Yeah, it was something like that. The ex-Liverpool fullback, really talented player, but just knackered by the time he came to West Ham. We've had a few of those over the years. Adrian Whitbread, of course, never played, I don't think, a competitive game for the club, did he?
Yeah, you did play quite a few. Yeah.
He did.
I will check up how many, actually, because I quite rated him. When I used to go and watch Orient a bit, I used to think he was a reasonable player.
Yeah.
But you remember him playing up at Everton when I went up there, one midweek game. The Mike Walker game where we hadn't won of the season.
Yeah.
Mike Walker's job was on the line. So if he'd have lost that game, he would have been sacked. But Q West Ham turning up. And rest is history. He lasted another month or so. Yeah, he played 10 games for us.
Oh, did he really? Okay. I can't remember a single one, but there you go.
Obviously made an impression.
Indeed.
And he's gone on to be some kind of a managerial career since he retired.
Is there any relation to Fatima?
He managed Puerto Rico Islanders, Antigua Barracuda FC, Bahrain's under 23s, then Puerto Rico FC. So he might have been a bit of an average player, but he's got a lovely tan, allegedly.
That's a pretty eclectic mix of clubs right there, isn't it?
Yeah, we ain't gone for
I'm not quite sure the standard, but it's definitely an interesting CV. David O'Rourke says, UTJ, you missed Pablo Foulnals. Of course.
Oh, that is just poor. That is just poor.
Yeah. I think I've got to say Rob Young's winning this today, I think, coming with some Matthew Featherington, Faulo Di Canio. Boys on fire. Do you want to know the score in the rugby, Rio?
Nah.
All right. Whatever you do, nobody put the score in the live chat, so Rio might just happen to.
I'm actually avoiding live chat just to doubly make sure.
There you
I've got
go.
the house to myself after this. Right, so I'm gonna sit back, couple of beers, watch the rugby, and think of more chicken gags. You know? I'm going to be watching the egg-shaped game, so why shouldn't I?
Yeah. You'll be ringing me up later going, what about this one? You know, it's like always the best ones come too late, don't they? So anyway.
Oh, Wales
where are we?
stuff in the rugger, didn't they? Really?
The what? The who?
Wales got done in the rugger proper. It weren't like a close thing at all, was it?
What was the score?
Only 24 points in it.
Oh.
To be honest, though, they did have a lot more opportunities than it suggests. But I always fancied Ireland before the game, honest. Joe Willock's been booked for Newcastle, and we have got a free kick in what you would deem a dangerous area. If we had Dimitri Payet still playing, I'd say it's incredibly dangerous. But so we've got 3 players now with the ball: Soufal, Ben Rama, and Lucas Paqueta. Nick Pope, who's looking very, very much like, I've never noticed it before. He looks like one of the kids used to pick on at school because he looked a bit simple.
Speaking of Nick Pope, though, right? To be fair, and he kicked like something like 10, 12 clean sheets in a row. And we've broken that run.
Yeah,
So if I put it, gets a free header. Oh, Jesus, we should have been 2-1 up there.
We
It's a
broke
decent
that
free
run
kick
like-
floated in. The gear gets over the ball and knocks it over the top. Oh, if he'd got that on, if he got that low, got his head down and over it, would have been 2-1. Free header. Oh, Jesus, we've got to take these opportunities.
There's been a few though, where they're beginning to stack up for West Ham.
I said complain about their keeper. He looks like Plug out the Bash Street Kids.
That's it. Yeah, partly him. Yeah, but he's got a Dwayne Dippy haircut with it and all.
Oh, no.
I'm still waiting for this. Have we, chaps, have we seen how many minutes are added on at the end of the half? Has anyone
2
seen?
minutes.
2
minutes.
minutes. 2 added on.
Oh, come on, Nathan. You could have done better.
Do you know what I think he looks like, Nick Pope? I think he's got a touch of the old Ian Curtis's about him
He has indeed. Just
from
hopefully-
Joy Division.
Hopefully he lives beyond 27.
Well, 23 wasn't he, Curtis, when he died? He was in.
I thought he
Incredibly
was
young.
one of the 27 club.
I'm just seeing the
Well,
free kick coming now. Oh God, he's got to score that. That's Nathan Eggerd. See, he's. Oh, should have cracked
Yeah.
that one, shouldn't he? That's
Absolute yoke of a header.
That's on him and all, isn't he? You're good.
Oh dear.
Do you know what happened, right? It was his ears. They're acting like spoilers and he couldn't get up quick enough.
Yeah, it just hung up. To be fair, didn't it? It set up and just didn't come down for him enough, and couldn't quite get over it. It was a great ball in actually from Soufal. Really decent little free kick and
Take a free kick.
decent header, decent chance. But we must be at half time, chaps. No, or within the last few seconds.
Last few seconds coming up. Eddie Howe's on the side. Looking a little bit perplexed. Throwing a biro around here, I think.
Ooh,
Or was his finger really kind of iffy in the cold weather up there? Don't know.
not used to it.
But you're talking still on the chicken thing, right? When you get chicks, they're not covered in feathers. They're covered in Flynn down.
Stretching it now, chaps, aren't we? Are we at half time now, fellas?
We are now. You know, Newcastle took the free kick.
Me that's all.
Easily clear with a really strong header. And yeah, it's half time.
There you
How
go.
the hell have we gone in at 1-1?
I have no
After the
idea,
start we
but
made?
summarise it for me, chaps. Nick, come to you first. Newcastle 1, West Ham 1, half time. What do you make of it so far?
Nice. It's full of chickens and fluffy things.
I'm not sure you get away with that on the BBC, but to be fair, it might be better than some of the stuff we get on the BBC. Rio, can you offer us a little bit more insight than that?
Okay, yeah. But of all the worst possible starts in the world we could make, we did it today. We surpassed our expectations of ineptness. Almost went a goal down within 37 seconds. Thankfully, the ball went out of play before Newcastle pulled the ball back, and I think I can't remember who actually put the ball in the net, but VAR to the rescue. But then you would have thought we learnt the lesson. But about a minute later, Lucas Paqueta loses the ball in the midfield. The ball gets fed through, and Callum Wilson races between Kera and Ogbonna and fires home, as he always does against us. Every single game, we never learn. Mark bloody Wilson. But
Callum Wilson, not Mark.
we
Oh, I just realised what you did. Oh, sorry. I'll shut up now.
well, through some minor miracle, we've actually kind of eked ourselves back into the game. And once we got a little bit of composure back, once we found a little bit of discipline, once we started knocking the ball around and starting to sting out of Newcastle's kind of forward forays, no, we actually ended the second half, the first half, in the better team. We had a few chances, lack of composure twice on Saeed Benrahma. No surprise, it almost cost us dear. But eventually, yeah, forced the corner. I was absolutely aghast that Declan Rice for taking it. Someone of his stature should be in the box making a noose of himself. And it wasn't the greatest free kick, but no one dealt with it really well. But the ball filtered through, got to the far post without barely being touched by anybody. And there's Lucas Paqueta to kind of stab the ball home, a real poacher's goal. Yeah, it's been a very weird game. Started possibly the worst I've seen us in a long time. But we've shown a little bit of character here. We've shown a little bit of mettle. We got back into it, and it's game on here, 1-0. I'm actually quite hopeful for the second half.
Brilliant. Love that, Rio. Beautifully summed up, in fact. Newcastle United won, West Ham United won. West Ham's goal coming from Lucas Paqueta. His first goal from open play, I believe, for West Ham. His only other goal previously coming from the penalty spot at Leeds. And what a celebration, a double somersault from the Brazilian. And rightly so. Why not indeed? I'm still absolutely perplexed by Kieran Trippier's marking for that corner. I just cannot understand how, as a defender, you can't even look at the ball until it's come across. I mean, he's looking at the corner's over here and he's looking this way, and the first he knows of it is when the ball's at Paqueta's feet, and by the time he reacts, the ball's in the back of the net. I just cannot fathom that for the life of me. Whether or not he thought it was the corner was being taken a few seconds later, I don't know, but it was just bizarre. But we're not complaining anyway, because as Rio says, after what was a terrible start for West Ham, and we've had some poor starts over the course of this season, but I think that one kind of eclipsed everything. But here we are. It's 1-1, and it really is game on at the moment. And the stats kind of bear out the fact that West Ham have been very, very much worth that position at half time. Newcastle, not unexpectedly, lead the possession stat 59-41 in their favour. But shots, Newcastle 2 shots, one on target. The goal, the other one, I think, was that looping effort that had Fabianski scrambling back a little bit, or unless they counted the one that was the shot. I don't think it was. But West Ham 8 shots in that first half, surpassed that 6.5 that Suts was going to bet on in the first half. Only one on target for West Ham. Of course, it's the one that counts. Interesting, only one corner in the first half, and that was the one that led to the goal. Both sides committing 4 fouls. So in terms of possession, Newcastle, 3/5 of it so far, but West Ham, in terms of shots, Nick, very much on top so far, which, as Rio said, is bizarre given the opening 2 minutes and what happened there.
Yeah, it is a bit bizarre, but this can't go unnoticed, right? David O'Rourke, Lucas Paqueta.
Oh. I like. Do you know what? I think that's my favourite so far. Paqueta. That's in. I think. David, you've got the first one down. Paqueta. I like that. In the bag. Was I say, or in the coop? I suppose it should be.
Or the roast in the bag if it's chicken.
Steady on. There's my chicken. There's my pet you're talking about. I've already told my son we're gonna eat them if they start to struggle, and that upset him hugely. So we're just staying away from that. Paqueta, love it, brilliant, awesome. In the coop, as they say. No changes at half-time. Chats, we're happy to keep it as it is and see. So I mean, we're talking about as if David Moyes would even contemplate making a change at the break, and no need to really when you're away from home. It's 1-1, but. Well, what do we think in terms of? I mean, Rio, would you expect to see Danny Ings come on at some point in the second half, for example?
I think he will against a tiring defence, and obviously we know Mikel kind of runs out of stamina after 60 minutes, 65 minutes.
Yeah.
So you don't really want to risk Danny Ings too much because of obviously the injury situation as well. But a run out for the last 20 minutes against a tiring defence, I'm all up for it. To be honest, looking at the bench, there isn't a dearth of options, is there really? We've got 2 young keepers who I've looked for the Premier League rule book, and if you do substitute an ageing one, a 37-year-old Fabianski, you can't make it up by 2 players roughly the same age coming on. It's not done by age; it's done by actual physical presence on the pitch. So, yeah, there isn't a wealth of option. Obviously, Pablo Fornals could come on. It's one of Saeed Benrahma's perplexing days. He's taken up some really good position on the left-hand side, but once again, his decision-making has been, it is incredibly noticeable. I just really do wish that we had someone who we could utilise him from the bench more and not have to play him from the start, week in, week out. Because he's had a decent season, but he's still, I think he's probably the most frustrating West Ham player I've seen for many a year. There's been a lot of candidates in the past, but he's taken a biscuit at the times.
Do you go along with that, Nick, in terms of our little Algerian?
I don't know. I was still thinking about chickens.
You're making me work hard today, aren't you? It's going to be tough getting.
See, if can we have like pop stars as well as chicken names?
Go on then. What you got for me? You've been thinking about this one, I can tell. What you
I know.
got?
The basis at the Manic Street Preachers, Nicky Chicken Wire.
Oh yeah, yeah. Is that the one who went walkabout and never came back?
No, that's Richard Holmes. No, Nicky Wire's still alive.
Oh,
I
okay.
met
Okay.
him in Southend once at the Cliffs Pavilion.
Oh yeah. No, well. So I've seen a few bands there over the years.
And he came back from Dorothy Perkins because he bought a leopard print fur coat. As you do.
as you do from Dorothy Perkins. Right, well. Are they still going? Is Dorothy Perkins still going? Is that another one of those high street chains that's gone belly up under Philip Green and all that mob? That was one of his.
It's probably gone belly up because ain't Karen Brady got something to do with it at all.
No comment. She was. I saw her on telly the other day. Actually, no, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. It's not chicken related, so it's not relevant today.
Dorothy Perkins is still online, but so is Debenhams. That don't mean a lot.
Oh, okay. They used to have a big Debenhams in Basildon, but that was one of the ones that went, and that took over from. It used to be called Alders, I think, and they turned it into a Debenhams, and then that went belly up as well.
It's a choice. Yeah. I miss CNA because I used to buy my shirts for work from CNA.
I know a dad joke about CNA, but I certainly it's not one I can repeat on this family show.
Well, if you were to WhatsApp me, no doubt I probably would.
Yeah, which is why I'm not going to be WhatsApping you.
Same reason I do one about B&M.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You know it. I'm totally lost now. Where are we? Substitutions. Yeah, we were looking at substitutions. Rio, you said there's not a lot. We didn't even talk about it at the start of the show, but in terms of the lineup, did Moisey get it right at the start? I mean, I know we started terribly and all that, but would that have been the lineup you guys would have picked? Rio, you first?
To be honest, I probably would have done. The only thing I might have changed is because we're away from home against a side that's high up in the table and full of confidence. I might have gone for the more defensive option. Well, say defensive, but the more kind of versatile option of Fornells for Benrahma. But obviously, sorry, he's been in decent form. It's just a frustration. But I'd like him to come on against a tiring side rather than away from home. Gets tiring legs. I think it'd be far more effective. But yeah, given what we've got at our disposal, I can't really fault the lineup.
Vladimir Coop fell.
Hey, yes, we'll have that. It's really the single names we're looking for, like Peketa. That's a great one.
How about Del Banton?
Like it. I mean, I can't really call a chicken. Can you imagine me standing in the garden going, Matthew Featherington, come and get your dinner? It's not going to work, is it? It's not going to work. Peketa.
Want to bet?
What? Sorry.
You said it's not going to work. I said, do you want to bet?
I hear you. Peketa. I like that. Couple of comments on we should do the forum. We should have a look at the KMV.com forum, chaps, and see what our fellow hammers are saying about the game so far. I'm just having a look at Twitter and just seeing a few comments come in. Benrahma decision making poor so far. I kind of agree with you on that, Rio, actually, about Benrahma. I find him a better substitute, someone coming on and making an impact second half. Nick, do you agree with that, or do you feel that he's better, actually going at people from the off?
I'd just shoot him in the face, to be fair, and leave him on the side of the pitch to decompose.
That's one option, I suppose. Do you want to hear Declan Rice's stats from the first? Of course you do. Why am I asking you? Of course you want to know. Declan Rice's stats from the first half: 94% pass accuracy, 36 touches. That's pretty impressive. 29 passes completed, 7 ball recoveries, 3 out of 3 long balls completed, 2 out of 2 tackles won, 2 ground duels won, 1 key pass. I'm presuming the key pass, gentlemen, was the corner that will go down as an assist for the goal. But anyway, decent performance from young Deckers so far. Other comments from West Ham fans? Half-time, good spirit shown to get back in it. Pretty chaotic at times. Maybe that suits us. There are definitely gaps to exploit there. And Roshane Thomas, the Athletics West Ham correspondent, says that a great response from West Ham, having conceded early. Paqueta and Rice partnership working well. Is that key to West Ham's mini revival, would you say? Paqueta being played in his more natural role of an 8, Rio?
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice. In the bag.
Yeah,
Declan,
absolutely. No, we saw a start of the season when we first bought Paqueta. We utilised him as a completely different player to the one that he's naturally suited to.
Yeah.
And he looked like a fish out of water at times, you know. I think he's intelligent enough to maybe do it in the future, but no, he's obviously wasn't suited to playing that further forward role. And since he's been moved back, the results speak for themselves. He looks much more comfortable, much more fluid, much more kind of astute in his decision making. He's not rushed. You maybe need that little bit of extra time as well, because not only was he coming from playing a further forward role, we have to think that split second faster.
Mm-hmm.
You also come into a league where the pace compared to the French league is, you know, a lot faster as well. So that was doubling, hampering him. And I just think it's really helped him play in his natural position. It's come at the expense of a Moyes favourite in Thomas Souček.
Yeah.
And we saw the other night how he played. He played a lot better in his more natural position, because he's been shunting around to accommodate Declan Rice's kind of more expensive role.
Yeah.
So, I just think he's dropped back 5-10 yards. He has a little bit more time to think, a little bit more time on the ball. He looks a much better player. West Ham are making the substitution. Ben Johnson is coming on. I'm not seeing who's gone off. You would have assumed it would be one of the 2 fullbacks. I'm just trying to see who it is. This doesn't fill me with confidence.
No,
he had a bit of a mare, didn't he, against Derby? Did young Ben?
Yeah, and
It's
I'm not the greatest fan, but he had a stinker the other night.
But good Lord, he was rubbish against Derby.
Yeah, he didn't have the best of games. That's for sure. Let us know, Rio, when you see who it is. Anyway, I'll just bring you a couple of other thoughts while we're waiting for that information.
Theo Kehrer.
Kehrer.
That's a bit of a strange one.
Might
I
have a
didn't
knock.
think Kehrer put up with any kind of injury.
Yeah.
But wait,
So the presumption there would be that it's going to be a straight like for like. Kehrer will slot in on the right side of the central defence there.
You would have thought so, yeah.
And Soufal stays out on the right. But it'd be interesting to see what happens there. As Nick says, there was no signs, was there, Nick, of an obvious injury to the German there. Maybe it is if that is a tactical switch, then that's a big statement by David Moyes. Something he doesn't usually do at this point.
no, I mean it's not the 75th minute. So I think it's a sub that's probably I would have thought it's enforced.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. I mean, Kehra's he's been a bit anonymous, but he ain't really done much wrong, has he?
No. Well, I mean, to be fair, we haven't had an awful lot of defending to do, have we, so far?
Well, not since the 4th minute, no.
no, not since picking the ball out of our net twice in the opening 90 seconds or where it was. There is confirmation just sitting on our screen. Ben Johnson. No, he didn't have a good night at Derby. Just completely off the boil. Passing was all over the place as well. But good opportunity for him to go and make up for it now. It was a good night, actually. Got to say, it was a good night down at Derby on Monday. Quickest I've ever been out of an away ground, I think. Was it not the first club? Were they not the first to build that kind of out of town stadium, on an industrial estate type thing? I don't think anyone. Reading were kind of around that time, weren't they, chaps? Rio, you'll remember better than me. I think Derby were the first with Pride Park.
I think Bolton were actually the first.
Bolton at the Reebok, yeah.
The actual first one to rebuild and move to a new ground was, I think, was Scunthorpe.
Okay.
When I moved to Glenford Park, sorry. But yeah, out the bigger sides, I'm sure it's Bolton.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. I was at Scunthorpe's ground not so long ago, actually, and not just passing, as you do, just passing Scunthorpe. It's very much like that. It's in the middle of an industrial estate surrounded by shopping estate surrounded by, you know, your coffee shops, your McDonald's and all that sort of thing, and your B&Ms and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they anyway, they were one of the first. I wonder when that was.
95 before Stoke.
96. Stoke would have been a similar time, wouldn't it? Yeah, around then.
Let me look it, because it sparked my
Yeah, let's see if we can get a little timeline going of who was who. But anyway, it was a nice ground up there. You in and out. I mean,
You know what though? Do you know what I reckon's the first? Coventry with a Rico Arena. I'm pretty sure
Highfield Road. Yeah,
well before the Reebok, wasn't it?
could be. Would have been around that time, wouldn't it? Now that was a funny old ground, Highfield Road. Certainly don't miss going there.
One's good.
Bit like it used to be a bit like Wimbledon, Plough Lane. You'd have to walk bloody miles get off the train and walk miles to the ground.
Little shout out for Gillingham, who are slowly starting to pick up points. They were in the bottom three on League One, but they've got
They win today.
and they're gradually. I don't want to see them go out in the non-league. It's bad enough seeing teams like Southend and DNR going out of the league. And these little southeast clubs.
Yes, I mean Southend are suffering dreadfully, aren't they? Well, they have been the last couple of years since falling out of it. Had a torrid season last year. They're doing a bit better. I think this year, 5th or 6th in the National League. I think something like that. Seem to be doing all right, but it's it's soul destroy. I used to go and watch Southend as a kid. I had a season ticket there when I was about 13. In fact, I had a season ticket at Southend before I had one at West Ham. Used to go, but that was in the days when they were playing in the 3rd and 4th division, as it was then, and they used to play their home games on a Friday night. I think largely because most of their crowd would be at West Ham on a Saturday. But yeah, some fondness for the Shrimpers, but they've had as I say, they've had a terrible time. And another club really, I think, where they the fans despise the people that run the club, unfortunately. But he won't sell. Anyway, there's a game going on here. 49 minutes gone. Nothing. We've seen a couple of West Ham players taken off. Jared Bowen a couple of minutes ago was left rubbing his calf, and Joe Linton's just done Lucas Paqueta. Not the first time Paqueta's been borne the brunt of a strong challenge from one of the Newcastle players. But anyway, Rio, bring us up to date live if you will, because you're a minute or so ahead of myself. And
don't think really happened. We've seen Danny Ings warming up, and he's hugging the corner flag. So he must be knackered after that. What run down the touchline? But yeah, it's been nothing really happening in the second half so far.
Who was that? Nathan. Okay, sorry. I did. Yeah, I forget. We ain't going to score because we own a little bit ahead.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's good to enjoy your excitement at the prospect.
For once, I am actually watching the game because I've got Zoom on one thing and game on something else rather than it all being on the one screen. I'm still trying to think of chickens.
I've just seen Eggeard's header. That's how far I am behind once again. But let us know, Rio, if you will, when that substitution comes off. Steve Palmer says there's a CNA in Berlin, apparently. I guess that's a weird one, isn't it? Is it CNA? I thought that was a British company. How on earth? Steve, how did it end up in Berlin? We'll task you with that mission, mate, to find out how it is that there's a CNA in. But maybe there's some more elsewhere in the UK. Are they still around?
Has he been watching too many spy films? You don't mean the CIA?
CNA.
And you keep the chickens in a cage, GB.
All right, I'm just updating my notes here.
They're getting worse.
For future reference. Let us know what you think of the game so far on the stream. We've not really got involved with well, apart from the punnery, of course, the chicken punnery. But let us know what you're thinking of the game so far. What do you think David Moyes should do, folks? More changes soon? Let us know. What would you do in David Moyes' position right now? Kind of finely balance this game. 1-1. 51 minutes in, but who's gonna make the first move? Would it be Eddie Howe or David? Well, of course, we've already made one. But as Nick pointed out, and I think he's probably right, it's probably enforced, but we'll find out soon enough. But anyway,
Tell you what, Emerson's having a good game, you know.
Emerson,
I think so.
he looked lively the other night at Derby.
Yeah, he's looking lively again tonight. He's just won us.
Yeah.
I actually think he's very underrated.
Yeah. Do we think that David Moyes is looking at that now and thinking that he's probably first choice over Cresswell? Because he's not played the last couple of games, is he, Cresswell?
Yeah,
I think he's got to be looking that, no, we know Aaron's suffering now in terms of mobility and like awareness. Emerson gets forward a lot more than like he's given credit for. He's tighter on the ball. Now we're playing this system with like a 3-4-3.
Yeah,
he's more ideally suited because he's got a little bit more pace. He's impressed with electric pace, but he's got a lot more than Aaron Cresswell. And I think he's disciplined enough to play that role, and he does it really well for us.
Yeah, I like him. Surprised it's taken this long for him to get involved. But Nick, are you an Emerson fan? You think he's a better prospect than Cresswell at the moment as things stand?
I think he's more accomplished. Let's say it's difficult to say who's actually a better player. I think he's now got more in his all-round game than Cresswell.
Yeah,
and he's got a little bit of zip about him that Cresswell lost when he was about 6.
Is it a question more? Do you think of systems? You know, if we're playing a flat back 4, Moyes is probably more likely to go with Cresswell, and if it's a 5, it's Emerson.
No, I just think that as good a servant that Cresswell's been, I just think that Emerson just seems to have this as Rio said, more mobility about him. He's just more mobile. Don't get me wrong.
Had a good chance there.
Defensive system, then I'd consider Cresswell, but you know.
Okay. All right, Rio, a chance for West Ham?
Yeah, Newcastle. Kieran Trippier got down the right hand side, floated the ball across to the far post, and I think it was Willock or St Maxim who got a shot away, but thankfully it was blocked. But a bit of a worrying moment. Actually, I just found the list of football stadiums. I hope.
Okay, good stuff. What have we got?
Actually, I haven't.
All right.
Because it ran out of bloody 1994, which doesn't help me one little iota. But there wasn't a new ground open between 1958, which was Burton Albion's ground, until 1970, where Acton Stanley moved in. And then Broadall Way in Stevenage in 76, Neen Park, Ruston Diamonds in 1994. And just when I need to find the rest of it, it's cut off, which doesn't help me one bit. But yeah, 1994, Neen Park, Ruston Diamonds. So if I can find the rest of it, it'd be ideal.
All right. Well, we'll leave that task with you for the next few minutes. As you said, just see a good chance for Newcastle. Trippier's crossed on the right. Good save by Fabianski. Actually, first time he's actually been forced to make a save, I think, tonight. Sam Maximan at the far post, getting it on the half volley, and it was on target, but West Ham managed to keep it out from close range. I was just about to say, actually, before that, we look like we're on top in this second half. We look like we've been pretty comfortable. But Newcastle just, exhibiting some evidence that we have to be a bit careful still yet. Plenty of opportunities to come in this one, no doubt, for both teams. But good performance from West Ham so far. Really, really done very, very well to come back from that awful start. Newcastle's new signing, Gordon, warming up on my screen. Is he on yet, chaps, or is he still just warming up?
I think he's had to sit down. He was a bit knackered after running down the touchline. So, yeah, no more action on the sidelines for us at the moment.
Okay.
Newcastle, a little bit in the ascendancy, just forced to throw him deep into our half, the right-hand side for them. And they're testing Emerson out down there, but whoa. Now, Joe Linton surged into the box. Naif Fakir has put a foot out, I think he has. He's been booked for diving, Joe Linton.
Oh,
He went over
I thought he
on
was
out
booked-
to like Tom Daly. But
Was he not booked a minute ago? I thought I saw the card come out for Joe Linton a few minutes ago.
Again, has actually
Obviously
pulled
not.
out attack with very intelligent defending. Joe Linton was going full pelt into the box. Again, it's kind of half-hearted. He's seen you come in and just pulled away. Yeah, Joe Linton's been done for diving.
It obviously wasn't him who was booked a few minutes ago. Then I thought it was, but interesting stuff. I think I'm just about to see it here. Yeah, a little correction from the thing I was saying a few moments ago. It was a Sufal block, wasn't it, Davey? O'Rourke pointed out it wasn't a Fabianski save, but I think Fabianski would have saved it anyway if Sufal had not been there. He was right behind it. Yeah, just seeing that now. Newcastle beginning to show signs of getting back into the game, and kudos to the referee there. He's absolutely bang on that straight away, wasn't he? Again, was incensed by the dive. But referee's done a good job so far, chaps. I think been pretty good.
He's had a reasonable game. You know that's going to spell absolute disaster, but yeah.
Yeah.
I always used to think his name was Joe Linton, and I was expecting some like slightly porky, overweight Geordie fella.
Or a crooner like Joe Longthorn.
Yeah,
Just with a dodgy haircut.
I didn't realise Joe Linton was his full name.
And Craven Moore
Joe
says
Linton.
Anthony Gordon looks like Claire Balding. It's a bit harsh. I'm not sure on who, but it's a bit harsh. One way or the other.
I'll tell you what Anthony Gordon looks like. I don't. This is going to go. This might alienate some of our younger audience. If you remember Grange Hill in the early 80s, Oily Doily, the school bully.
I thought he was like a love child of Peter Beardsley and Gaza.
He looks like a schoolboy fop. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, fop. What is a great word? I don't remember Oily Doily, and I would have been watching it. Who were the main characters at that time, Rio?
I think that was in the old Tucker Jenkins era. I'm sure it
Really?
was.
No, so Stebson. Gripper Stebson was the
It might be a
bully
bit
then, wasn't he?
heart-rending, but
Yeah, after Stebson.
yeah, he was like a really snidey looking, horrible kid who used to bully people. And
Remember him at
Anthony
all?
Gordon is nailed on with that.
There you go. If his football career ever goes wrong, he can take part in a Grange Hill tribute act. What did that happen to Tucker Jenkins? Just out of interest, what happened to Todd Carty? Wasn't it?
He caught AIDS and died.
Well, apart from that, apart from when he caught AIDS and died, as Mark Fowler. I've not seen him since. Have you? He seems to have kind of just descended into obscurity.
He was in the bill after that, wasn't he?
Was he?
I
Was he
think
really? Oh.
I'm going to Wikipedia.
What happened to Todd Carty? We need to know this. Kind of our generation, wasn't he? We all sort of were very much of a similar age. I still remember going to school actually after the first episode of Grange Hill, 1977, might have been 1977 or 78, and chatting about it with my fellow pupils at the Westwood Junior School in Hadley.
This is going to
About-
make him feel old, right? He's actually nearly 60.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I suppose he would be now.
He played PC Gabriel Kent in the bill from 2003 to 2005.
Okay, and what's he done since then, Nick?
Cool.
Cool.
But
I'm lost. What? I'm sorry. I'm Newcastle. What? Say it again. Sorry.
cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
just to the beginning.
I'm gone. You've lost me. You've totally
Rio,
lost me.
you've got it, haven't you?
I
Right.
don't know what I've got anymore. I'm still trying to find bloody grads.
Add
I
far.
think you've lost us all.
No, add far to cool. And that's what Todd Carty's done.
Yeah.
I'm with you now. So what's it? he must have. Yeah, it's an odd one. So he hasn't gone into like being a producer or anything like that. He's just giving it, which is a shame. It's a shame. Real shame.
Yeah.
Totally character. Tucker's Luck. That was the thing he did, wasn't it? After Grange Hill. Grange
He
Hill.
did with that fat bloke. What was his name?
Oh, well, Alan.
And
Alan
Dancing on Ice,
Bates.
2009.
did he really? He did Kroll with Lisette Anthony, didn't he? Who was very much a teenage crush of mine. She was also in. Was it Two Up, Two Down?
2 Up,
God,
2
really-
Down, and Mark
really-
Elphick, yeah.
That's it. That's the one. I'm really going off on a tangent now, but
He done a bit
Kroll,
in
yeah,
Doctors.
he what? Sorry.
He done a bit of directing and producing for Doctors.
Oh, okay, that was after the call
Yeah.
or after the bill, should we say?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Because his sister in EastEnders, Michelle, she became a director of EastEnders, I think, didn't she?
She
After
did Susan Tully. She
Tully. That's
she
it.
done
That's the
she
one.
done quite a bit of directing and stuff. She do some American shows as well.
I've
I've
no
got photos.
idea. All I know, she was involved in EastEnders, yeah, but she was getting into that. You did see her on the screens after all that, did you? But anyway, there you go. Fascinating stuff. British soap stars history, a potted history of British soap stars in 5 minutes. There's a game going on apparently at the same time. Obviously, there's nothing happening because we haven't reacted, but we're into the final third of the game. I'm just seeing Joe Willock limp around. I don't know why, because I was listening to Nick's reading out Michelle Fowler's resume.
I haven't got a definitive answer, but I've got an update.
Oh, good stuff. What have we got, Rio?
The Riverside Stadium, Middlesbrough, was opened in 1988. But the Bolton FC Stadium was open a year earlier than that. So I think I'm on the right grounds here. Rico won't open until,
So when was
Like-
the Rico opening?
I'll check up, I definitely was open until 2001.
And when did Derby move from the baseball ground? What have we got for that one? I'm sure it was early. They were definitely there in '97. Definitely there by then.
Yeah.
Just seen a few
That
pictures.
that too was 1997, yeah.
It was '97. Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit later than I thought. So just after the Taylor report, when everyone, which was what, 92, wasn't it? The Taylor report.
94 it was finalised, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, since then it's been absolute dearth for new stadiums. So it's between Pride Park and Bolton. I'm sure Bolton was first.
Okay. Good stuff.
Sure. But yeah, Pride Park was opened by the Queen in
Stadium opened in
1999.
1997.
Sorry, Nick. What was that?
Stokes ground opened in 97.
Stokes, Britannia,
Yeah, or Bet 365 as it is now.
the Pet Freezy. What was their old ground called? It's totally gone.
Bootham Crescent.
Bootham Crescent. Of course it was. Of course it was. So, isn't it interesting? None of those clubs are in the top flight now. Borough, Bolton, Derby, Stoke, all gone. All gone. Reading, another one, not there anymore. All adorning the championship these days, all those stadiums.
Wigan as well. New
Wigan,
stadium.
yes, of course. DW, yep, as it's known.
Middlesbrough, Sunderland.
Majeski, the Reading owner, or former owner, he was at David Gold's little soiree at the Olympic the other day. I sent some photos by the club, and he was there along with one or two others. John Motson was actually there as well. He turned up for the funeral, or the it wasn't a funeral, was it? It was the send off at the ground when they paraded David Gold around Upton Park, Green Street. Vladimir Sufal's been spoken to on my screen by David Moyes, giving him some instructions. 25 minutes, inside 25 minutes. Danny Ings, Pablo Fornel's warming up. Still on. Danny Ings has been warming up for about 20 minutes now, I think, isn't he, Rio? Most of the second half he's been running up and down the touchline for.
Yep, we're getting our money's out of worth them out of them, aren't we? You know, we don't spend that kind of money about getting a bit of solid graft out of players. Earn your dough.
Yeah, exactly. Nick, what we forgot to do today, my friend? What your little shtick?
Oh, we ain't done the old doodah, have we? The old, that bit. The Matt Jarvis.
The
When he
Matty
plugs the
Jarvis.
corner out and no one gets it. Thumbs up, mate. Subscribe down there. That way.
Give us a like. Give us a like.
Subscribe. Hit that bell for notification, guys.
Ding a ding a ding a ding. All those things helps the channel. Apparently,
It does.
Um,
It's with the algorithms.
that's the one. That's the one. This is going to come to nothing, but I've just seen a lovely attack by West Ham down the left. Mickey Antonio's left the ball for Said Benrahma. He's put a crossover, which, I can see why you've not mentioned it. It didn't come to anything in the end, but promising for West Ham. It looks like, I'm not sure this game's done and dusted yet. I get the feeling there's going to be a winning goal. Who it's for, I don't know, but
I was going to be for Newcastle, ain't it? Let's be.
Do you reckon? You fancy Newcastle win? I don't know. This is the sort of game. See, this is the thing. A lot of people were saying we had that easy run of games, Leeds and
Great tackle,
easier
Declan Rice.
run of games. Sorry, Rio?
Declan Rice intercepts the ball on the edge of our area. Fantastic tackle. Because Newcastle looking threatening.
Yeah.
He's released Antonio. It's put out left-hand side, Ramerson. But yeah, it was an amazing tackle. Much needed because we was getting a little bit under the cosh there. But yeah, just stuck a leg out. Fantastically worked. And Anthony Gordon is looking at the iPad with the Newcastle backroom staff. And he was going to get a new haircut and get that fringe trimmed, or he's coming on. We're not sure which yet.
Or get his roots done. The state of that. Look. Terrible. Do you reckon he's had the sunning out on that? Do you remember that stuff, sunning? We used to put in your hair in the 80s. You ever used to use that? I mean, I'm asking you two. I mean, this is a, about did you put
I
highlights in
used
your
to
hair?
do a lot with this, didn't I?
I had long flying locks in the 80s.
Did you? Were you like a bit of a rocker? It was kind of a...
Yeah. Until 1996, I had the long hair and the ponytail still. And one day I woke up and I thought, you know what? What the hell am I doing? Let's shave the whole lot off. Never gone back.
I've just seen the Declan Rice challenge. Fantastic. I had long hair once. It all turned into dreadlocks because I didn't wash it enough. So it all had to come off.
Yeah, I spent a fortune on Timothy and I thought, I ain't doing this no more.
Eggs Benedict McCarthy. Robert Young, he's come back with another one. He's on fire today. Well done, Robert. Love that.
So, yeah, Gordon's about to come on for, looks like St. Maxim. He's even clapping like a petulant, oily school kid. Someone break his legs, please.
I believe that's Newcastle's first change, isn't it? The game so far.
Yeah.
West Ham only made one. Johnson coming on for Kera at half time. Jen Glonson? What am I talking about? This stream's gone on far too long. Ben Johnson hasn't really put a foot wrong. I mean, he hasn't had an awful lot to do, has he, so far? But he's looked fairly accomplished, hasn't he, in the 30-minute or 20 minutes so he's been on?
Yes, there's no signing though. He looks like somebody's set fire to his face and put it out of a frying pan.
Where are we? Just 69 minutes gone. Just coming up to the final 20 minutes. It's about time David Moyes makes one of those famous substitutions.
Still a bit early.
Still a bit early. Another 5 minutes, you reckon? Yeah, it could be.
7 minutes.
Number 8, the Newcastle new signing. I've got to say, it did kind of make me chuckle a bit the other day when I saw Gordon and Harrison Ashby introduced to the Newcastle crowd before their Carabao Cup semi-final, and there's a £45 million signing and a £3 million signing, and Ashby seemed to think that all the applause was equally for him. I'm kind of not sure if that was the case, given the disparity in the signing on fees. But we thought Ashby might be involved to some degree today, but left out the squad entirely. I don't know what that says.
It says it's shit.
Pablo Fornell, we're in a little chat with Kevin Nolan and being shown the iPad. So expect their imminent impact.
Okay.
I don't think it's Harrison Ashby, right, is anything like Harry sort of cut up to be. Souček and what?
Fornell was both talking to
So why no end? Why no end? When Antonio has done the grand sum of Todd Carty's career.
In the 21st century. Lucas Paquette has been targeted today, champs, hasn't he, quite a bit?
He's obviously a key man for us now, isn't he? He's he's shown a lot of ability and a lot of aptitude, and team's going to wake up to him and start, trying to rough him up a little bit.
So instead of going to win the game, Moyes is basically shutting up shop at 1-1, isn't he?
It does look like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah, yeah.
see, this is the thing that gets right on my tits with David Moyes. When we've got to now, unless Ings is struggling proper, which in which case you shouldn't have been on the bench, go out and try and win the game. And this is the sort of thing where Moyes is going to end up losing the support because he's shutting up shop with 20 minutes to go.
Hmm.
And he ain't going.
If you want Danny
No,
Ings on the pitch, you want Paqueta feeding him. You don't want him on the bench looking, thinking, "Oh, I could have passed to Danny Ings and put him through there."
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating. It really
That
is.
said, Tommy Souček was brilliant. And again, I know it's only Derby, but he was our best player by a country mile on Monday night. I thought he took the game by the scruff of the neck without, that worry of Declan Rice sort of being behind him. I'm not sure whether that's kind of well, we all think that stunted him, don't we, to some degree.
Absolutely.
He looked fantastic, I thought, on Monday night. Played a really
As
good
you
game.
couldn't have it in though, it's against Derby County down two levels below. I'm sure I'd look good if I played against my nephew's infant school.
Yeah. I think the point is that it was the first opportunity we've had to see him without Rice, isn't it? I can't think of another game where Rice has been rested and Souček's played. So yeah, you're right, Nick. It's absolutely got to be put into that. You've got to consider that was the opposition, but
no, I mean it's not even Souček I've got the about. To be fair, it's the fact that we're now 18 minutes out. We won all.
Yeah.
We've got a chance of winning this game with positive subs, and he's, not being funny, right? Fornals, he's a lovely bloke and all that, but he ain't like he was, is he? Sorry, Rio, because I know you love him and you want to have his babies and stuff, but he's not the Fornals of 18 months ago, is he? And
He looks constricted. It's like a lot of our players. They don't look like they've been given the freedom to go out and express themselves.
I think Fornals
Played in too rigid a system all the time.
I think Fornals has got the freedom to do it, but because it's nothing about freedom when he goes to play a pass and he overhits it and it goes out for a throw in, or if he has a shot and he absolutely fluffs his lines big time. That's ability and the final ball. That's not about.
Oh yeah, that's a huge bugbear of mine. He's his finishing ability still needs a lot of work.
And even some of his passing recently has been pretty wayward. And now we're bringing off Lucas Paqueta. Why are we bringing off Lucas, that bloke there, the chicken fella? What?
It's always like subs by numbers. You can predict who's going to go off and when, don't you?
That's it. He's given up the game now. He's given up. He's given up trying to win this game of football. What an absolute stupid Scottish tit.
I completely get against a top three side, the point was a great result. But this game is there for the taking.
They ain't the top three side. Until they finish there, we've had this is just, see, I don't get it. No, sorry. No, Newcastle ain't the top three side. It's like we ain't the top three side when we were sitting in the top 3 and 4 in January once upon a time, at the end of February. Do you know what I mean? It's Newcastle United who are going to come down. They ain't going to finish in the top 4. They really ain't. They might finish 5th or 6th. And if he's treating Newcastle bloody United with like this, without going out to win the game, and you watch that, we're going to lose.
Sorry, mate. Knight for Gerd has just rescued us big time, but he's picked up a knock.
Oh, not again.
We was having a great spell down the left-hand side. Newcastle broke away. Anthony Gordon feeds the ball through. I think it was to Wilson. And Wilson's got a 2-yard head start on Agard. Agard storms back and gets a really good challenge in and forces a corner, but he's landed a little bit awkward there. But it's great defending. Absolutely amazing defending.
I don't think it can be. I mean, we've made this point many, many times, I think, on the forum in the last few months. I don't think you can underestimate just how important Naif Agard is to West Ham at the moment, and how important his, absence from the squad was in terms of, results in those first few months. fantastic defender, but he does have that tendency for me to make that very late challenge where he comes across players. It's the one we saw him injured from against Rangers. It's also the same challenge we saw him injured by. I'm just seeing it now. It's exactly the same challenge, isn't it? He comes across him and puts his right foot across the player, comes on his left-hand side. Did it in the World Cup, did it at Rangers, done it again now. Every time he's been injured. But as you say, Rio, it's potentially at a point or a match-saving tackle. But obviously a major concern.
That's a bonus.
Yeah, it's. Wilson's onside, but he's got the momentum. He's moving forward. That's a fantastic tackle.
Yeah, he's super defending. Absolutely immense defending.
Yeah. Anything coming from the corner, Rio, or are we?
Nothing. It's all petered out. But we just pan around to Kevin Nolan again, and Danny Ings has stripped off. And literally stripped off. And
what's his tackle like? Because Rice has got a lovely tackle, and Aguerd's got fantastic tackle.
He certainly has. There's some great tackle on show out there. Match stats as we approach the final 10, 12 minutes of the game. Newcastle winning the possession battle 60% to 40% exactly. Now this is interesting. Newcastle only 5 shots all afternoon. They only had 3 up until a couple of minutes ago. 5 shots, only 1 on target, which was the goal. West Ham 9 shots so far, only 1 on target. So quite an incredible game, really. Only 2 shots on target in the entire match so far. Doesn't seem like that sort of game. It's been quite end-to-end and exciting. Seems to be lots of happening, but obviously not in the areas where it's most important, Rio.
Yeah, and we're just like, it's just been another stat come up last 15 minutes. Newcastle had virtually 75% of possession.
Yeah.
It's said for an in-ring game, to have like so few clear-cut and clinical chances. It's been a massive surprise, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But I expect those numbers to kind of drastically increase because both sides are chasing. Well, Newcastle are chasing the game, but I think where they are chasing, we can hit on the break here. If we get Dan Ings on the field and feed him on the break, we should be able to get a couple of shots away ourselves.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Mickey Antonio, have we, today? He's not really been involved or at the races in any sense this afternoon. So I guess that's a welcome change, right?
Yeah, and he's certainly flagging again. He's like, at the moment, he's out of our 3-4 players. We're all encamped in our own half, just on the edge of the centre circle, the front 3. And Mickey, he's playing that with his backside, to be honest.
Yeah, not really been at the races. Callum Wilson going to win that particular battle today. But I guess West Ham and Mickey Antonio would take it as a moral victory if we could hang on for a point. Rio.
Newcastle attack down the right-hand side. Trippier puts a cross in. We clear it. The ball goes forward. And just as I say, Mickey's blown out with his backside. He gets involved in a bit of a tussle with, I think, Botman. He gets penalised for it, but there's a little bit of fight left in him, yeah. That might be the last one. He might be having an oxygen tank in a second, but there's a little bit of fight left there.
Oh, that's good to see. Good to see. I mean, I also find with Antonio, he's one of those players that works incredibly hard, does a lot of miles, for the team, does a lot of running without, for sort of scant reward often, as you'd expect if you're playing that kind of lone striker's role. But,
and he is going off now. Sorry to interrupt.
No, of course.
No, Dan Ings is coming on from Mikel Antonio. Newcastle about to make 2 changes themselves. I'm trying to see who it is. Yeah, but Danny Ings is on the Miguel Almiron going off for Newcastle. He still looks like Sheldon out of the Big Bang Theory, but I ain't going to mention anything else about that. Just trying to see the subs. There you go. Jacob Murphy comes on for Miguel Almiron. And one more change for Newcastle coming. Joe Willett goes off. And Elliot Anderson comes on. A name I'm not particularly familiar with, but young, fresh legs.
Yeah, I think Eddie Howe spoke about him in his press conference on Friday. Someone they see as a potential replacement or an alternative to Guimaraes.
Whoa.
Isn't playing today. Rio.
Whoa. Yeah, Newcastle free kick, just like the substitution have been made. Deep into our box. Wilson gets up above everyone else, and he really should do better. Straight up Fabianski, thankfully. But yeah, Aguerd's missed him. Ben Johnson's nowhere to be seen. It's a free header. He should have done a lot better there. We really should be 2-1 down.
get the feeling that Newcastle are slightly getting a stranglehold on this game following those substitutions with Paqueta going off. It's almost as if they're freed up a little bit now, Rio, to kind of concentrate on other areas of the pitch.
Yeah. They're definitely turning the screw. It just forced the corner here. It was a bit harsh, actually. I thought John Linton fouled Knife for Gerd, but ball's come for Gerd, gone out for a corner. They're having words with each other. But, they're turning the screw here. So we've really got to be on our mettle. We've really got to be sharp defensively. Okay, and Sky just brought up a really damning stat, which is going to be ruined now. Corner comes in, we clear it, only as far as the end of the box. Oh, Gordon fires it in, hits one of the defenders, and it goes out. Yeah, the stat come up. Defending corners or defending crosses coming in. Last 99, we cleared 99 of them. So you would have thought that 100th would have gone in. Newcastle again with a corner, swinged into the centre. Thankfully. I think that was Botman gets up but heads it over. But yeah, dangerous times for West Ham. Dangerous times.
Yeah, that shot target beginning to rack up now for Newcastle. I'd say there's only 3 a little while ago. But that was that header, only the 3rd shot on target in the entire match, 2 for Newcastle, 1 for West Ham. Nick, are you still with us? Can I hear you in the background now? Can we not? Or are you not with us at all? I think Nick's away. Hopefully we can get Nick back on in a few minutes. But West Ham clinging on, you might say, as we approach the final 7 minutes or so. It's still Newcastle United 1, West Ham United 1. Both goals coming in the first half. Callum Wilson scoring after just 2 minutes. West Ham punished. And Lucas Paqueta, West Ham's man of the match, Rio, equalised in the 31st minute. Fair to say?
He's up there. I think Declan Rice has actually had a pretty good game himself. And also, he got to take into consideration Knife for Gerd, who, after a bit of a sticky opening period for the whole defence, he's looked incredibly classy. And every game he plays, he's looking classier and classier. Like you said, I really don't think we'd been in the position we were if he'd been available all season. He just exudes confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely does. It's been a fantastic acquisition for the club so far. We've got Nick back. Good to have you back, buddy.
We just forced the corner, by the way. Pablo Fornal has forced the corner. Declan Rice, once again, is about to take, which I really don't agree with. I think some of his aerial prowess should be in the centre of the box.
Can lightning strike twice? Rice.
See how this delivery comes in. Declan takes, cleared easily. Put back into the mix. The ball come back out. All swung to nothing. Nothing really of any substance there. But yeah, I really don't like Declan Rice taking set pieces. Really do not.
We've still got a few minutes to go yet, chaps. But let's kind of just look back at what we've seen so far. Obviously anything could happen yet. But what do we make of this performance so far, Nick? Is this is this more evidence that David Moyes is beginning to improve things in terms of West Ham's lot, or is it another poor away performance when we perhaps should have gone on and done better than we have?
I'm not going to be too judgmental, but the thing that disappointed me most is those substitutions as and when. I won't say that they were there for the taking, but they do look a bit shaky. They don't look to be no great shakes. And he settled for the 1-1 when you're down the bottom. What the difference that point's going to make today? All right, it could be what keeps us up, but another 2 points would have been nicer. Go for it. That's the thing that's done my nutting a little bit.
Rio, your thoughts?
I've had too many cronies now, so don't expect what said.
I'm actually agreeing with Nick there. After the start we made, which was absolutely horrendous, we thought ourselves back into the game, got level. We was on the ascendancy, and we've gone into our shell. Those 2 substitutions haven't been proactive; they've been negative. And I completely get we're in a relegation battle. We need every point we can.
Yeah.
But when the game's there for the taking, go for it. if you look at the Newcastle side individually, barring the keeper and possibly a couple of defenders, man for man, we're better than them.
Yeah.
And our confidence is high after the run over the last couple of weeks. I know it didn't seem like it at the start, but we rode that storm. We got over it. And now we've gone rigid again. We've gone. Now I said we're playing Moyes plays Viagra football at times, and it's not great. It's all rigid. Have that earlier bit of penetration. After that, you sat there rigid with nothing to do.
I just wonder if the results earlier in the day might have had some bearing on not just those substitutions, but Moyes' game plan as a whole. The fact that Wolves won, Everton won, out of the bottom six, the only teams beaten are Bournemouth and Southampton who are below us anyway. The fact that, Wolves have gone above us. I just wonder if he's sort of looking at it now thinking, well, we could have been a bit more free to go for it if those two hadn't won. But a point in the circumstances would be a very good result for West Ham. Bearing in mind, let's not forget that a lot of people were looking at these fixtures saying, we've only beat a second string Brentford. We've only beaten League One Derby. We've only beat the worst team in the Premier League in Everton. This is the real test. And I think all of us would have taken a point, right, at the start of the game, Nick, if we'd been offered it, regardless of what's happened.
Yeah, if, when's, buts and all that caper though, innit? Of course we would have done. But throughout the way the game's gone, it's just the negative subs that's kind of taken the gloss off it for me, because we could have won this game, and at the end of the day, we've still got over a third of the season to go. It's in our hands. Win games and we'll survive. Draws really ain't no good to us. I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess if you're picking and choosing your games, though, your games away to teams like Newcastle are enjoying a really good run of form is a good result, and that means you've got to win your home games, right, against your Bournemouths and who else have we got to play? Southampton, teams like that. So I get, I try and look at it on the glass half full sort of side of things here and think, yes, I hear what you're saying. We probably could have been a bit more expansive and less reserved with those substitutions. But if you're going to make subs, Rio's pointed it out, right, Rio? We didn't have a lot of options on there. I mean, who else could we have brought, apart from bringing on Lanzini maybe as a more... Downs isn't an attacking substitution. Souček, I mean, you've got Ings on the pitch, who is another. I mean, you could have played two up front, but we haven't really got any other options in terms of making subs. So it's either a case of you leave out what you've got or change it.
If you're going to bring up the way Souček played against Derby and that he deserves to come on, etc., Downs, I thought, was superb playing that high press against Derby in the top of the pitch. So if that's the barometer, then Downs maybe should have got on playing further up the pitch, pressing their players, picking up a loose ball, and grabbing any mistakes and feeding it through. I don't know why. The thing that done me as well was he took off Paqueta, who was our best player, who's been our best player on the pitch today.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like he was blown out of his backside.
No.
Or anything, but he always put him off. And again, that it's not even so much who we brought on, it's who we took off as well. It's the full sum of his parts, really.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, it's a typical Moyes substitution, right? It's reserved and safety first.
I'm
going to give him some leeway. People will say I do too much, but I'm going to give him some leeway based on the fact that this would be 4 points out of 6 in the last 2 games, which for a team in our position is pretty good, especially when you're playing away from home to Newcastle. But anyway, we're pretty much running into added on time. Chaps, do we know how long we've got yet? Have we seen?
We've got 3 minutes. Nifigur's just been booked. Newcastle have a free kick on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And also Finn Downs is about to enter the fray.
Yep.
Vladimir Sufal picks up a bit of a knock. He's walking off rather gingerly. So Finn Downs is about to come on.
He's got a knock. Look like he had a bit of cramp.
Yeah. So we rejig the back line. I don't know, but you would have thought it'd go to a kind of a flat back 4 at a minute with everyone holding in front.
Yeah, looking that way.
Again, going back to the substitutions, it's the predictability, and we bought Danny Ings for a lot of money in the bid to get us the goals. like to keep us up. We're not letting him flourish because he's got no service and he's been paid. He's come on twice and played so deep that we're not getting to see the best out of him.
Yeah.
Free kicks cleared. Ball gets launched forward. Pablo is trying to battle away, but he's out muscled. Newcastle back on the ascendancy and trying to go forward.
Kofeld just lifted his top up there. He's carrying a bit of timber, isn't he?
Potato salad season, that's why.
Is he?
You can pull
Yeah,
back
I thought for a moment that Sufar was clutching his hamstring there, but no, the way he's walking off, it looks like it's a lower leg injury. Anyway, time running out. Rio, take us to the final whistle, if you will, buddy.
Yeah, well, we just broke away. Jared Bowen looks like he's being really badly held back, but referee obviously doesn't give anything. Newcastle go forward and run the ball out of play. £45 million for Anthony Gordon. Runs the ball out. Minute ago, 30 seconds to go now. And Knife again has been given the man of the match by Sky. 6 duels won, 5 clearances, 1 blocks, and 77% passing accuracy. So well done, Knife. Looks the biggest, the most astute signing that we made during the whole this last season.
Yeah, no question. No question. Looks like we're nearly there, nearly over the line. Anyway, still 1-1. Seconds to go, Rio.
Officially, there's 5 seconds to go. Referee's just blown up. Suchek and Botman got tangled up there. So, Newcastle got one more free kick. I think they're going to punt this ball forward. Hopefully, we've got the metal to kind of see this out and pick up the point. So, Newcastle just teeing the ball up. We're about 5 yards into their own half. Going to launch it into our area. Big Ed plays Big Ed. Well cleared by Suchek. And West Ham have broken free. Now, Declan Rice has got the ball. He's surging forward. He looks forward. He sees Pablo Fornals, who chips it forward back, looking for Rice. Launches it over for Danny Ings, but the defender gets there in front. And that's the final whistle. 1-1.
I'll take the point, but it could have been more.
Yeah. There's a lot of positives to take out of it. You can look at the negatives a little bit, but that's a good point. Any point away from home against a side full of confidence and buzzing. Now, I'll take a point. But I'd like to see a little bit more bravery at times. But given the situation we're in, I can understand why he went defensive.
But Ben Johnson, after his little bit of a nightmare at Derby, didn't really hear much about him. Didn't put a foot wrong in the second half. Happy to put aside, but for the half hour or so that he was on, didn't put a foot wrong. So maybe he was just having an off day against Derby, eh?
Yeah, good. Another positive. I mean, I think the thing is, chaps, bearing in mind we had the ball in the back of our net twice in the opening 3 minutes. We were looking at it thinking this could be. We talked about it, right? We talked about, and we knew if West Ham lost by 5 today, we'd be in the bottom 3. We even mentioned it as a possibility at one stage after that start. To come back from that to earn a draw, I think is huge credit to the whole team out there today and the whole squad as well and the management team as well. I think they've done a fantastic job. It's a shame we didn't start a little bit better, but that is a good point. There's no other way to look at it. And when you put it in context in terms, that's now 4 points out the last 6. We're going in the right direction, right, Nick? It's positive. We're looking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We didn't lose the game. No, see, I don't want to come across negative. I've said it. It's those subs to me taking off our best player, and I've criticised Paqueta at times.
Yeah,
more than once. But nonetheless, why take off our best player? He was our spark today, and he had a superb game. And I would have put him as my man of the match actually, even though Agurd done brilliantly, but he got to play the full 90. Without Paqueta today, we wouldn't have won that game. No, we wouldn't have drawn that game even.
Yeah. Okay. Rio, man of the match for you today?
Again, for me. I just thought, he just exudes class. He defends so well. He's got his distribution, his presence. We started off absolutely awful but we recompose themselves, and the confidence comes from the back. You know, when you've got a defender like that alongside you, you must get confident. When you've got someone who can play the ball out like that, when you've got someone you can rely on for last-ditch tackles, it means a hell of a lot. And I just think he's an incredibly classy player.
Yeah, I think it's a question of one of those. So Declan Rice had a really good game as well. To be fair, I thought Emerson did a good job at the back, and well, to be fair, everybody done it. There wasn't really a player out there who didn't, put in a shift. Michael Antonio for scant reward, but worked his socks off. Nathan Aguerd was excellent this afternoon, and it's good to see Lucas Paqueta finally come out of his shell and produce a potential match-winning performance. I'm kind of with you on Nick that it's a little bit disappointing to see him take on. One of the things maybe, you kind of look at, he was being targeted by Newcastle. They put him on the deck 3 or 4 times. Maybe there's a question of Moisey looking at that thinking maybe we've got to protect him a bit, but I'm not sure that really washes, because when it's 1-1, you've got 15 minutes to go and a chance of winning the game. Would you do that? I'm not sure that's the case. Rio made the point about kind of substitutions by numbers. I think there's something in that as well, where you look around, you think, right, we've got this player that can be replaced by him, and so on and so forth. And Paqueta was obviously one of your obvious replacements. He's never going to take Rice off, right? So if he's going to replace one of those midfielders, it's always going to be Paqueta. I'm kind of with you a bit on that, Nick. I would have perhaps liked to see. He looked okay to me. He looked like he was, as I said, he was causing Newcastle a lot of problems through the whole game. Eddie Howard indicated in his pre-match press conference that Paqueta was the player they most feared. It was a player they, of course, were in for or interested in last summer before he came to West Ham. So there was clearly some concern. And you got the feeling that when he went off, the kind of, I'll say the tables turned. It's not like we were completely on top at that point, but Newcastle certainly were given license to forage forward
he handed
a little bit more.
Back to him a bit, I think. But someone else that deserves a shout out, Angelo Bonner. After the year he's had, and again, an absolute solid game. Yeah, he deserves a nod. To be fair, I like Angelo. He's got such a post. I just want to miss him. Yeah,
he played terrific. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there was a player. Fabianski didn't have an awful lot to do, but did what he had to do. Soufal didn't get forward an awful lot, but did a fine job. So good team performance, and I think it would be a little bit churlish for anyone to perhaps suggest now that West Ham aren't experiencing an upturn in form overall. That's 3 wins, 2 draws, and only 1 defeat now in our last 6 outings in all competitions. So Rio, hopeful for next week, I guess. Chelsea, isn't it, next?
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming against one of those mid-table sides that we should put away next week. Yeah. They spent the gross domestic product of like 18 African nations. But they're a side on the decline. A side who doesn't know their own identity, a side doesn't know their best 11, let alone their best foot starting 45. Let's take them to the sword. Let's go out there on the front foot and really test their psyche. Everyone talks about Chelsea being this massive club. They're not anymore. They haven't been for a few years. Let's go out there and test them out. They're a side on the decline. We're on the up. Let's prove it. Let's get out there, get in their faces, and get a result next week.
Nick, is this a really good time? Is this the best possible time perhaps to be playing Chelsea while they're still sort of rebooting? They've spent an awful lot of money, not just in January, but this season as well, overall.
I think any time's a good time to play Chelsea. Even when they've been flying high, it's a London derby. And, the form book goes out the window. Totally. So I'll take no notice of that. On any given day, we can turn them over, just like we can do the Spuds. I think the easiest job, I think the next 2 games is actually going to be the 2 easiest that the manager's going to have. And when I say that, because it's Chelsea and Tottenham, innit?
Right.
Got coming up. He just needs to get over to the players what the rivalry, but because regardless of how streets ahead Chelsea have been in recent years and stuff, they're still one of our historic rivals, same as those over the white ones over in North London there.
Yeah.
Just get them up. They just need to know what it will mean to us supporters You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think put out the right team, get a solid. I will take a scrappy 1-0 win against either of those lot, because at work it's full of Chelsea fans and life is just full of Tottenham fans, unfortunately, and you just can't get rid of them.
It's funny. I mean, the thing is, Rio, when you're looking at these three games, Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham, on paper, people look at that and think, oh, with the form West Ham are in, these are really, really tough games. But as we know, year in, year out, these are the games we produce and you know, get results in against these sort of teams. I don't think in the last few years we've lost to both of those in every game. So,
and when we have, it hasn't been by the finest of margins when we have been turned over.
Yeah,
that was when we turned us over. Was that Carabao Cup game, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, that's the worst time. We'd never lost by more than one goal, I think, until
something like that.
That week and the week before, we lost 3-1 to Arsenal in the league.
Yeah, and
a week later, I think it was, we lost 2-0 to Tottenham. But both times, we should have got more out of it. You know, I just think now's the time. I've got a lot of friends I know support Chelsea. For some aberration, the cricket team I played for and I was heavily involved with had a far disproportionate amount of Chelsea fans who lived in my local area.
Yeah,
and most of them, to be fair, are pretty gracious. One or two have really forgotten where their roots were, and have been bemoaning the fact that they've been taken to task about the amount of money they spent over the last few years, their decline over this season, given the fact they've been pumped for the Russian money and Champions League money over the last 30 years, has really kind of skewed how Chelsea have always been seen in the past. So, yeah, we've got a point to prove, not just to the club, but for me personally next week. And I just really hope we do. You know, let's channel our inner 1988 when we beat them 4-1 on that Easter Monday.
Easter Monday, remember it well, yeah.
And I don't want anyone to do a Leroy and get sent off, but if someone swings a punch, I ain't going to moan.
Yeah, game I remember well. I was coming home from Newcastle that day. Nick, we were talking about that earlier on, funny enough.
No, indeed. About
a long time ago.
Love. I think
yes.
we said, yeah. Yeah, bloody.
It's a point that lifts West Ham back up above Leeds.
No, we ain't moved. We stayed in 16th, didn't we?
I think we dropped a position, didn't we? After today's result, because Wolves went above us.
Oh, right.
Earlier in the day, but we're not above Wolves now, but we've gone above Leeds by a point, and well, not by goal difference. They're -7, we're -8. But West Ham now 16th. Well, you've got Wolves 15th, 20 points. West Ham 16th with 19 points, -8 goal difference. Leeds now 17th, 2 games in hand on West Ham now, but they've only got 18 points and a -7 goal difference. And you've got Everton, Bournemouth, and Southampton making up the bottom 3. As I think was the case, was it not, before the start of play this morning? So West Ham, you know, you look up the table, you've got Wolves a point above us, Nottingham Forest and Leicester still both only 2 points above us. So, and then Palace 5 points. Kind of, you know, we mentioned Palace potentially getting dragged into this. I'm not sure they will, but they're within touching distance now. I think you can look up as far as 12th and say potentially any one of those teams can go. But what a big game, Nick, it is going to be now next week against Chelsea. We win that, we're looking good, right?
We are indeed. Whether we win it, obviously, is a different kettle of fish altogether. But we stand a chance. All we need to do is keep it tight and be brave. I think that's the thing. But it's a David Moyes team, and I think by saying, you know, be brave, I think I'm probably asking too much.
Well, we shall see what happens. Certainly made everything very, very interesting. I am hoping that Naomi's going to join us very shortly, but it doesn't quite seem to be able to get connected right now. So we'll give another minute or so, and if not, we'll call it a day. Let's just have final thoughts of the day, gentlemen. Rio, summing up what you've seen this afternoon. What do you make of it overall?
Right, I'm going to try and avoid every single egg pun I can. Okay. Now we started off really, really, really poorly. I don't think we could have started off in a worse manner if we'd even planned it. But the mental fortitude we show to overcome that, get back into the game, take it to the home side, get back on level terms, and look on the ascendancy, look the better side. For a large portion of that closing half, the first half, and the start of the second, it says a lot for the way that the squad unity seems to. Everyone said like the squad's fragmented. Moyes has lost the dressing room. I didn't see that the other day. I saw a unit fighting together. The most frustrating point as we've gone through was the substitution changed our momentum.
Yeah.
But overall, you've got to look at the positives. It's a point away to a side who's currently riding high, full of confidence. We haven't traditionally got a great set of records up at St James's Park.
Mhm.
So, yeah, the point in our situation is a great result. It could have been more, and that's my only frustration. But we've seen some excellent performances today. I think Naif Agurd says it, speaks for himself. Lucas Paquette has grown into his role in that deeper midfield role week by week and looking more and more confident and more the player that we spent a hell of a lot of money on. Declan Rice, after a bit of a sticky season, had another outstanding game today. So there's a lot of positives to take. There's more positives than negatives. And the situation win, that's all we can ask for. More positives than negatives and a point.
Ria, I'm just going to stop you there because we've got Declan Rice on the audio. I'm just going to bring him in.
You know, at the end of the day,
Hopefully you can hear this.
really. You know, anything can happen in a game of football. You need to know when you step out on that pitch, you need to give 110%. And I think you see a team today that are together and that really want to push on now and, you know, really because we're down the bottom of the league at the minute.
No, from your perspective, what did you feel was the key to that,
Naif Agurd
to this
too.
result?
No, as Deck said before the game, we knew that Newcastle at home, it's very tough to play. But yeah, I'm very proud of the lads, what we showed today. Massive point. Very proud, as I told you.
Declan, did you think you might be in for a rather long evening, the way the game started?
Yeah, most definitely, because, you know, we said before the game, you know, the warm-up, I think that was the best warm-up we've had in terms of the sharpness. And, you know, we really looked on it and we said as a group of lads, look, first 10, 15 minutes, they're going to come out because that's what they've done every game this season. And sloppy from us to concede the first one, which was obviously out, but then to do the second one, yeah, schoolboy stuff. But I think we didn't dip. You know, we showed our personality. You know, we really stuck at it, and you know, we could have had maybe one or two, but I thought a point was a fair result.
Paquetta's goal got you back into it. Needed the right delivery from the corner, didn't it?
Yeah, you know, I've been working on that. Something that obviously I'm not used to, taking corners, but you know, if the manager wants me on him, I'm always going to try and put in a good delivery. And lucky enough, now one went through, and Lucas got his goal.
Naif, how did you as a team feel you could get your way back into this game?
Like when they scored the first goal, we were very upset, and yeah, we talked a lot. Also in halftime, we said like we have 45 minutes, and yeah, let's if we cannot win, as you said in the changing room, if we can win, just we take 1 point. And as I told you, the reaction of the lads was fantastic.
Terrific defensive performance from the whole team. Terrific tackle from you personally to deny Callum Wilson toward the end. Tell us about it. I mean, you did well to even catch him up.
Yeah, it's a little bit risky, but yeah, I'm here to defend, to help the team. I saw him taking the space, and yeah, if I don't tackle, I think he scored.
Declan, there was 3 wins in 4 games coming into this, and now this hard-fought point here. Does the team feel like this could be, as far as the season is concerned, a little bit of a turning point?
Yeah, definitely. I think momentum's starting to come back. The levels are starting to rise again. You can see it to a man. You know, everyone's up to it, and you know, like I said, it's down to us now. We obviously have a big game next weekend, which is obviously a London derby, one that we're up for, looking forward to already. So look, we want to keep the momentum building, and you know, a massive thank you to the fans that travelled as well. You know, they were unbelievable today from the start. So we keep heading in the right direction. We'll be fine. Big
performance then from the whole West Ham team. But Naif, you are the player of the match. Declan, would you mind doing the honours?
Present for you, my friend. You probably could have had 10 of these already. All the best.
Well done, guys.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Naif Agurd and Declan Rice being interviewed there straight after the game. Nick, it doesn't strike me that that's a disunited squad from what Declan was saying anyway.
No, it's quite ironic you used the word strike you because of what I was doing during the interviews. It kept me occupied. No, it sounds quite a united dressing room, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was-
Are we losing you?
You lost me a long while ago, to be fair. I've been distracted. It's very difficult to be professional.
All right.
It's so together when Gnome fell over that time, and I just looked there, stony faced, while Stu was chuckling. But I've just lost it. I am so
All right.
sorry.
Well, I'll tell you what, while you try and regain your composure, let me go over to Rio and just discuss a couple of things that were said there. I think the thing that stood out for me most there, Rio, was that Naya Forgerd has learnt to describe his teammates as the lads, which is a very football type thing to come out with. But anyway, he said that, Declan Rice said, sorry, we stuck at it. It was a fair result. The momentum's coming back, he said. We're playing at our levels once again, and we're heading in the right direction. Any arguments with any of that?
Absolutely not. No, we know we've had a really sticky 7 or 8 months. There's been a whole sea change and massive shift in the demographics of the squad. That can't have been easy. The World Cup whole break mid-season can't have been easy.
Yeah.
The way we've been trying to adapt the way that we play can't have been easy. But we're seeing shoots of improvement. And are we going to do the typical West Ham thing? And when the chips are down, come back and prove people wrong?
Yeah.
You really hope so. Now we've had 18 months, 2 years of really good football, really good results. As I said at the end of the last broadcast we did, now we need not just the squad to blend, we need the fans to blend and stick together and gel and really come to the fore and raise the team in terms of morale. And what I heard and saw at Pride Park the other night, what I heard and saw today, we're doing exactly that. So, if we're disunited off the pitch, it filters on through onto the players on the pitch. And it seems not only is the squad gelling, but the support sharing as well. And that's what we need. We need a unified unit as a club to get through these sticky patches. And normally this is when West Ham fans come to the fore. And I really hope that it's coming to fruition.
Okay, good stuff. We're going to leave it there, chaps. Nick looks like he might be coming to fruition at the moment. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I've been watching you chuckle yourself.
You didn't have to use the words to fruition.
No, I've just totally lost composure. And there's something to my right that is just rinsing me totally. And I can't do it.
All right. Well, we'll leave it. We'll leave it there anyway. We'll leave it on a positive note. It's been a great afternoon for West Ham in the end. It looked a little bit sticky at the start. Conceded early on after 2 minutes, and Lucas Paqueta managed to drag us back into the game. And who knows? In the end, a little bit more luck. Perhaps we could have gone on and won the game and taken 3 points. But it's a point. We'll settle for that. It's a good point for West Ham. And green shoots of recovery are growing long and prosperous at the moment, I think it's fair to say. And long may that continue. Chaps, thank you very much once again for your company. It's been fun. Not as much fun for me and Rio as it has been for Nick by the looks of it, but there you go. We're clucking off now to go and write some content for the site. Get yourself on over to the KUMB.com forum, match thread for some post-match discussion and other stuff. We'll see you all over there. And apart from that, we'll see you. When is Chelsea game? Saturday, is it, chaps?
Saturday early kickoff.
Saturday early kickoff. Rio, you're going to be at the game, so I'll be here. Hopefully, Nick will be joining me if he's available next week. Early kickoff, good stuff. I like early kickoffs. We can get everything done and dusted and go out for the night. But anyway, you can all go out and enjoy yourselves tonight. West Ham, we can watch them on the telly. They haven't lost. There you go. Good stuff. We can get on match of the day. And it also means there'll be an opposition view for you on Monday to enjoy. I'm sure it'll be a good one this week. All those expectant Geordie fans. Thank you to everybody.
You bastard, Luke.
Sorry, mate. I didn't hear you again. Sorry, I'm in terrible trouble hearing you today.
Oh, well, yeah, like we should have fucking stuff these
Aye, Why, I petal.
It's great. We were shit.
How are you, man? How are you? Anyway, that's it. That's it from us and our terrible Geordie impersonations. We'll see you all again very soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you all for your company this afternoon. And we'll see you all again soon. One of them. Come on, you Irons.